Hello, hello. I am so sorry, my people. I am late. Marriott, I know. I'm late. I own up. Gina Sok, Chino Soku, Mike. Hi. Welcome, my people. How you all doing this morning? How's everyone doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to everyone. How's everyone doing? Happy Sunday. I hope you guys had, I hope so far you're having a restful uh, Sunday. You're taking things easy, no stress. Eh? How's everyone doing? Glad to be here again. Welcome. Everybody, welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How's everyone doing? Did anybody cook jollof rice today? What did you guys cook for your Christmas? I mean for your Sunday. Is it jollof rice, fried rice, or whatever? All the mende or you ordered? Because ordering is the in thing now. Everybody orders, most people order food, not me though. But anyway, how's everyone doing? I hope you had a great week. I hope your week was not too stressful, and I hope that you're having the opportunity to take a chill pill and relax today. Mm? So here we are again on the part two level of things. We are here to talk about the conversation from the last time that we had. Please, let me know if you can hear me, guys. I beg. I don't want to be talking to myself. Oh God. I know because I know sometimes the audio can be tricky. Sometimes you hear, sometimes you don't. So I just want to make sure. Yay! Highly favored. Welcome. Good to see you guys. Good to see everyone. Highly favored. How now? How was your Sunday? How's everything going? I hope you've been having a relaxing one. Oh. Okay, good. Oh, thank you very much, I favored. I appreciate that. I hope you guys have been having a good one. Everybody is chillaxing. Eh? I hope you guys are having a great Sunday, a relaxing one. How's everyone doing? Na, 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 na. Happy Sunday to everybody. How's everyone doing? It's raining where how is the weather over where you are? How's the weather, everyone? Is it raining? It's raining cats and dogs here. In fact, it's been raining heavily. I went for a walk yesterday and the levees, everything is full. It's almost spilling over. It's full. It's actually spilling over. Seriously. Flood everywhere, So hey, Marriott, I know I'm late. Marriott, before you say anything, don't say anything. Let me see, what did she write? Checking, ignore, ignore my mess. Marriott, you're the first person I called. I called you, I said, hello, how are you? And everything. Yeah. So, how now? Oh, thank you. Yeah. I said, let me show my face today. It's been a minute. Make I show my face. Make it no be like say I dey hide. Now welcome. Oh. So we're going to this one. I no go tell you too now. All that one that they drag me enter 3 hours. Not today. Not today. Today I follow na dragon. We know they do pass where my power reach today. And I no go talk where my power reach because I know say if I talk una go find way to keep and I refuse. Okay, so we no talk anything. Mirabelle, welcome. See fine girl, the come person fine girl. Mirabelle. You yourself, you are fine. Everybody's fine. Mhm. Thank you, highly favored. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the kind comments. So my head is swell, oh. I no go lie. My head is swell. No, not see, I think all the big, just the big. My head is swell. Clementina, welcome, welcome, welcome. Mona carry Joko, Mona carry on a different seat, Mona take position. Onto this topic, the second part of this topic, then we want to discuss today. So, first of all, before I start, I want to thank BBMJ. Now, BBMJ, now give me the title when I use now BBMJ. Now I lift them from. I thought it was apt. Let me go to that comment that BBMJ left. I was like, wow, woo, I like this. I like this. So where is that comment to? Let me go here. So now BBMJ, now him borrow, now him give me this one when I borrow. So in case anybody wants to know, where do one? I don't see him. Make I see. Okay, I know if you see the thing from there. Make I enter this side. Do, do, do. Mm, 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 mm. As she leave the comment, I say, wow, this is perfect too. I need this comment for my um for my next life. I need this comment. I need this comment. Aha. She say, yeah, this was a very necessary topic, especially with the mental reinvention of the marriage institution according to location, attitude, and gender. So that will be where we're going to be speaking from today. So BBMJ, if you're hearing me, I appreciate you a lot. I hope you can make it to this one. Yeah. So the mental reinvention of the marriage institution according to location, attitude, and gender. What do you guys think about that? I thought that was apt. Yeah, Mirabelle. I decided to show up early for those people who are not able to make it for 5 p.m. So I said, make I do am. Is it too early, Mirabelle? Is it too early for you? Should I make amends for your sake? Yeah, you are very important to me. So let's hear it. I'm not used to this time. I know, I know. I hope they show up. Hey, you don't show up. I send the notification on time. So you guys cannot hold me to that. I did my part. I sent out the notification early enough. So when I no fit hold my hand for that one. So you know if you use that one hold me. So if they catch them on the replay, make them let me know their comments. It's okay. We go run them like that. Uh-oh. Sorry, oh. This thing don't dey. Hey, life with Natu. Thank you. I'm blushing. No say as I dey blush. Thank you. I need to first understand. Now part two now, Mirabel, now part two of the marriage is scam. Remember? When I say marriage na scam, I can't ask question. We talked about it 2 days ago, right? So this one are the follow up to one, but I decided to borrow BBMG's comment because it was apt. So that's why I used it. So this is the part two. Yay! Welcome, my darling. Who they breed? Okay. Oh, okay, good. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. No pasha. I know they pasha. Who are they playing? Clementina, I know they do pasha now. eh? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Now you hold my oxygen. Mirabel. Hey, Onijogbo. Native be Onijogbo for you, eh? You got the notification 30 minutes earlier. I actually sent out the invite yesterday. Is it? Yeah, I scheduled it yesterday, I believe. So I'm hoping that everybody can join in so we can have a very a well-rounded conversation on this subject. What do you guys think? I think that this comment was apt, like the mental reinvention. We need to have a mental reinvention of what marriage institution, what it should be about, depending on where you live, right? Based on location, attitude, and gender. That one, that's enough conversation for another day in regards to gender, right? But we can just address it now generally as to what do we think. I think that what's this? I think if we all learn to treat each other fairly and like humans, be kind to one another. That's a start, right? You go learn to be kind to one another. Kindness, is a is it's a way of life that should never be done away with, because there are a lot of people that are deserving, that are wishing someone would be kind to them, but nobody. People are stingy with their kindness, or maybe they don't forget how to be kind. I think that's what's happening. People are forgetting how to be kind, how to be human. People are a lot of people. Life is so busy for some of us. You don't have time. Even when somebody is saying hi to you, you are walking very fast. You're trying to get to work on time, right? So there's that, and there's the other side where people have had terrible experiences from human beings, and they're like, I'm done. I'm not going to be kind to people anymore. There's also that. So make we talk about, and let me share my link. Again, like I said, I no go take for here today. Ma just tell Nana. So una no go keep me here. Oya, mo na come co-host. Mo we address, mo we talk this topic. I think BBMJ was the first to put a comment on here. I saw it when I was trying to set up. I was like, oh yeah, BB posted a comment. So, oya, Mona enter, I beg. Nobody me go talk this one. We are waiting for you, BBMJ. BB, we're waiting. Mona shout when she go here. It's everybody's topic. It's not just her topic. Mirabel, you people should use the link. You have experience. Enter inside. Come and tell us. Now na go host this one. Say me sef I still be learner for this thing. So now na go co-host am. The one wey me know be say kindness na something wey we need to continue to dey do. Let's continue to show kindness to one another. And people should learn to understand the environment they are in. What works in one location is different from what works in another location. And there has to be heightened communication. If you and your spouse, you're moving from a place where you have everything, you get house help, you get cook, you get babysitter, you get gardener, you get gatesman, you get all those things, right? You move to a place where those things are not readily available, and they will break a bank. You have to break a bank to be able to afford it. Then you adjust accordingly. So you no go just leave the work for your wife to dey do. If na a country wey say you are coming from a country or a location, a place where the women are expected to do everything, right? You're expected to do everything. Now you go clean, now you go cook, now you go take care of pikin, now you go do everything, right? You can't move come another country where we say all those things are expensive. You go adjust. So you don't expect that your wife, after doing, and both of you are working, right? Una go find out as una go take balance am. You're still learning. Come and share the one you have learned with us now. Maybe I have no experience, so that's why I kept quiet the last time. I don't also understand the topic yet, just like my twin. You don't understand the topic. Okay, let me go back again and read the comments. So I borrowed. So this is a part 2 of the conversation about marriage. Is it a scam? Is marriage a scam? Some people think that it's a scam because they've had terrible experiences, right? So BBMG posted a comment that I just read out, and I'm going to read it again. Where she said, let me see here. I don't know why I took it down. Oh man, I have to go back here, guys. Un momento. Okay. So, part 1. Okay. Marriage is a scam. There we go. In the comment. Okay. She said this was a very necessary topic, especially with the mental reinvention of the marriage institution according to location, attitude, and gender. Some people have certain attitudes coming into marriage. everybody go for different backgrounds. Everybody get different backgrounds. Everybody was used to something, right? So you're a different person coming to build a life with another person from a different environment, right? And then you have to decide what works for you. What works for you may not work for the next person, right? So if, for instance, your husband doesn't mind cooking, right? Depending on the location meaning if you're in Nigeria and the woman they do everything, that one I can speak to. So I'm always hopping on Nigeria because that's what I'm used to. I don't want to speak about other people's country and offend people's sensibilities. So now my own now they start with, right. So in Nigeria, we all know women are the ones who do the cooking, who do the cleaning, who take care of the home, who are doing all of this, right? Meanwhile, the man is just his own is just to provide. Matter of fact, he's so detached from his children. A child might be playing in the living room area, and the man is yelling at the woman, come and carry your child, oh, she's disturbing me or he's disturbing me, right? So that happens, you know. So if your marriage was in Nigeria and you now happen to find yourself in a different environment where you don't have that luxury, do you adjust or do you insist that you continue to get the same service? You understand? So that's the thing. And then I would I would talk about gender roles here. I don't know. My own thinking is whatever works for both parties. Some men are very domesticated. Some men know how to wash plates, wash clothes, do everything. They don't mind doing all those things. They don't, right? Some women don't know how to cook, even though the typical understanding is that women should be good in the kitchen. Some women don't sabi. So if a man now ends up marrying a woman who doesn't know how to cook, you go come tell and say, no, you must go learn. I mean, let's talk about it. May not be like saying only my own take. You understand? Me self na learner for this thing. So those when you know pass, abeg una come. Now too, where you dey? My co-host with the most. Please come, oh, come, make we talk am. Still figuring out this thing called marriage. Yeah, I am sure nobody knows it all. You can never graduate from it because everybody's different and people are always evolving, right? So you invented the part one topic. Yeah, the topic was simple. This one is not complex. Part two of is marriage a scam? Let me just leave it like that. Is it a scam? The first one we talked about is marriage a scam? Remember, we now talk extensively about why people say it, and what their their um their experiences have been and all of that. So this is the part two. Okay, to make it simple for all of you, marriage a scam part two. Okay, let me change the topic because be like say na the topic dey confuse una. Mm-hmm. More na enter panel, more na come co-host. Because this matter e big pass me. I go need help. Eh? Make e no be like say na from na only me na una dey hear am from. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. So part two, marriage is scam. Is it a scam? Natu, my darling co-host, I appreciate you, Jare. Correct co-host. Eh? Welcome. Oh. I know they hear you. Happy Sunday, Neka. Welcome. Oh.
Everything I do.
Hey, Ophelia in the house. Ophelia, yeah,
Ophelia
call
don't
the
show.
call him. Oh,
Ophelia
yeah,
enter,
guys.
enter, enter, enter. Ophelia enter, I
Enter,
beg.
Ophelia, enter. Eh?
Barack boy don't show.
Oh, thank you. My hair rocks. Hey,
Yeah,
my
it's
head is
nice.
sweat today. Oh. Hey,
No, seriously, it's
is
nice.
thank you. Thank you. Mirabel, don't start. You should be happy you still see greetings. Next time I'll be giving you audio like you have been feeding me audio food.
That kind of drama, one like, who is it? Is it Marriott?
It's Mirabel. Now Mirabel, I didn't find trouble like that. I want now wash the bring come. Natu is busy trolling you on WhatsApp.
Now she
I,
starts. She go post something
I,
for Obodo farm.
I
My,
think women now have legal rights if they have sense in their marriage. For example, May Edoche has her name on her mansion. Uh, Neka Omwe has my email. Please take it from her. Okay. You need to send me your info. Seriously, I cooked yesterday. Um, okay, no
you cooked
problem. All
what?
right.
What are you people cooking up and down?
My sister. Now between Mirabel and Neka, I don't know which
Ma
I
boss
think.
na bobo, I they make suya.
Hey, are you serious?
I
Wetin
should
dey
do na
use
the
take make
share
the
food.
suya na meat?
Yes, now. We know we get different
Abeg,
different
you
type
dey
of
mail,
suya.
you dey mail, you dey you dey mail.
I know they mail. She do that they mail food up and down, but then nobody ask me for my address and they revenge.
No be me dey do am now. No be na see the people wey dey do am. Eh?
No problem. We go talk for side.
So onto this matter, part two of am.
Mhm.
Here we are. So wetin una think about this topic? The part two na we dey talk about na
See,
marriage is a scam.
people are just confused. Like people, it just be like deeper like people. We say to watch TV. Nah, it's not. It's nah sin.
Yes,
Then if they come your house, they watch TV. They no one leave.
yes.
They go sit down. They watch. Cause I get one uncle wey dey deeper life too. You understand? You can't eat your cake and have it. So you have to pick your side. If you
Mm-hmm.
want pick side, say you want dey modernize as per may your wife work, may she bring so that una go contribute. That one no be big deal now. There are some things you give up too. So you go help for house. That's just the fact. But it will totally be unfair if you say you want make she contribute and then when it comes to us, you go now that I won't remember say na be Africans. That does not make sense. It really does not. So if you go based on location, you go pick. If you want to say, okay, I want my wife, wait, what happened? Okay. If you say, okay, I want my wife to be a full-time housewife. I want to be the only one to work to provide. No problem. Therefore, that side, she don't get excuse because waiting, you don't take over that provision. You understand? You've taken
Right,
that burden off her. So she does not
right.
have to worry about that. And then doing that too, you have to make sure that you are doing as it's supposed to be. You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
you have to just pick. If you want to go traditional like our people have always been doing, then you have to go into it 100%. If you
That's
say
true.
you want, yeah, you want, Dave, sorry, please, I'm on the phone. So that's how it is. You understand? So some people, you just have to pick your side, honestly speaking. But the problem people have is just like balancing it, knowing how
Right,
to balance it.
right,
That's the problem that people have,
right.
knowing how to
Like you were
balance it.
saying in Nigeria, right? Earlier on, you had mentioned that in Nigeria, so the way people do things in Nigeria when you're married, there are a lot of things that you get easy, right? The woman does everything for you. You have
Right.
domestic staff. If you can have, there are a lot of people.
Exactly.
You have domestic staff. Somebody is doing your cleaning your house. The ones that are cooking.
The one where
Everything
they
is
wash
usually
car, the one where they wash
when they
clothes, they
thank
iron.
you, they iron. You get driver. But when you come to a different place, you don't have
You
that
have to
luxury
learn.
anymore.
No, you don't have that.
So the question now is how willing are you to learn, right? And drop those things to learn those things that you were not used to doing now that you're in a new environment.
Honestly, for some people, it's hard, but like you said earlier, if you are kind, if that you will to consider it. I have a friend that had 3 kids, right? When she was in
Mhm.
Nigeria, imagine you have 3 kids in Nigeria, like you don't know how to bathe kids because our tradition and they'll bathe the kids for you 40 days
Right.
before you start. And even
Uh-huh.
her own, even after the 40 days, there's somebody that's always coming to do. So when she moved here, her husband is a diplomat. She had a baby. She didn't know how to bathe the baby.
Hmm.
She didn't know what to do. When I mean she did not know what to do, she didn't know what to do.
Wow.
Yes. So those are the privileges that we have at home, and the husband does not know how to do too. You understand? So we get those privileges. And
Mhm.
when you come here, you have to learn a lot of things.
Exactly.
You have to
Exactly.
learn a lot of things.
Yeah, but the problem is there's some people who are not willing to learn it. There's some people
That's
who
where the
just don't
problem
want to.
comes from.
That's where the problem comes from,
That's
right?
where
So
the
some of
problem
them will
comes
move
from.
here and still expect the woman to play the same roles. Come,
And that's why you see a lot of things. Some people just be like reacting. Some people just even don't know how to even like express themselves. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, you know.
Because Hausa people have one adage that they say, "I go carry pikin, I go back pikin again." You understand? Like na me
Mm-hmm,
go carry belle for 9 months. Na me go come dey carry pikin again. Now saying though, it's not like literal, but they're just trying to pass a message. So
right.
that's how it is. So that's basically what it is. I mean, it's not easy for some people. It's just like unlearning. Oh. You see, unlearning no
Yes.
be more more.
It not be
I'm
more. You
telling
know,
you,
they come easy sometimes, but
unlearning is not more, but it takes somebody to understand that there's a need. You
yes.
understand? You say there's
Yes.
a need. You say, okay, you know this thing one no they work. You be like say I go try another route.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start unlearning that thing that you have learned. And now learning a new thing that will work for you, that will create balance. So it takes, and especially our people, it's hard. It's really hard. When I mean it's hard, I mean it's hard. Because that's what you're used to.
Right.
That's what you're used to. And it's just like, it's just like taxes in America. When when you are doing this thing, when you're collecting salary, big money, you are enjoying. When you now do tax return, and then you have to pay the government something, while will start. Why do I have to pay?
Exactly.
Da 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 da. But that's what comes with it.
That's not true.
That's what comes
Your
with
boy
it.
will say, how much? Why? How come I owe
Yeah,
this
why?
much?
Why? Yes, why do I have to pay? Somebody was telling us like, when the money was entering, he was enjoying. When they did tax, they now say him and his wife, what they are going to pay the government. I think it was like 20 something thousand. Baba no find out
Wow.
money.
Eh,
Why do I
20
have to pay?
something
This is
thousand. Maybe they
crazy.
don't pay
Yeah, this
tax
is
at
crazy.
all.
They were making money. They were
Okay.
making money.
They were
When I
not
say
putting money
making,
aside for tax. That
yes,
makes
I
sense.
see. That's the problem when you come from Nigeria, right? See, that's why I say you need to do. There's a lot of learning that needs to happen.
Yeah.
So when you don't move with the right people to like tell you what to do, so you be feeling like whatever little thing they're taking out, that's okay, that's all they need to take out. And
Mm-hmm.
then you be spending and making all your plans, thinking you're good until February come, English go
Hmm.
come start.
Exactly.
So that's what it is.
Exactly.
So if you say that when the other person is drinking, you'll be enjoying it. But when it's the time for you to play your own part, you're like, what should I do? Uh-uh, I be woman now. I be man
Exactly.
now. You understand?
Exactly.
That's when you want to start it. But when the other person was doing, you're enjoying it too.
Uh-huh. You were taking
You're
it in.
enjoying it.
You
Yes.
were basking in
Now when
it.
is your yeah, exactly when is your turn now? You're saying, can you come, can you come, can you come? So that's basically honestly what it is. It's just a lot of unlearning needs to take place. Unlearning, relearning, all of it.
Yeah. Kindness is at the very, very core of that. Because if you're
See, I
kind and
say it all the time. You can't put
right,
a price tag on kindness.
yeah,
Lie,
kindness
lie,
is very, yeah.
lie,
Because
lie.
let me share one quick story. There was somebody here that I met. He came with his family, right? He
Okay.
said after he was the one working. By the time he comes back home, maybe the woman would have done certain things, but it so happened she now started working. So usually weekends he will have a clean house, everything. He wasn't getting it anymore. So he was not forced to. He's never done it before. He was not forced to clean and do all those things. He now started washing his bathroom. He now found out how difficult it is to wash the
It is.
bathroom. He
Okay
now
now.
said, "Oh my God! So this is what this woman has been dealing with." washing, scrubbing, doing
No, no,
all
not
these things.
again.
Man, there's a lot of work, and they still have little kids, right?
Oh, hmm,
From that day, when the woman came back, told the woman, you know what, don't do this anymore. I will be the one
yeah,
doing it. I didn't realize
yeah.
how tough it was. I'm so sorry I
Exactly.
put you through
See
all
it?
of that.
Yep,
That's a
yep,
kind person.
yep, yep. Telling you,
That's
kindness
someone
na
who's
skill
willing to
way.
go ahead.
Kindness na skill way. If you enter marriage, you no get and just back out because sometimes it go choke.
Hmm.
It go choke, but it takes that kindness for you. Like
Wow.
honestly, like sometimes like when my work gets crazy and that side, I have to give my husband credit for it because sometimes like I'll just come back and like, what you will chop? You'll be like, "Ah, don't worry yourself because
Hmm.
all of us go work, all of us come
Right.
back. Yeah, what you will
Yes.
chop? As long as something different inside fridge, you just be like, don't worry yourself. You understand?
That's a
Because you have
kind
to
man.
understand. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
understand that the other person is too. But some people will say, oh, I have to eat fresh food.
Exactly. It has to be freshly made. It has
Yep,
to be coming out of the stove now, hot, hot, hot.
yep.
You know, there's some people who are still stuck in that. I remember somebody. I heard somebody's story that said I think she got married. She got married from Nigeria and brought her spouse. Came with her spouse here. The
Okay.
when she started, when she cooks, she'll serve him on a tray, and then she will kneel down to serve him in America. So it got to a
It
stage where she couldn't really do it anymore, right? So sometimes she will just
could
prepare
be
the meals
problem.
and she will put it on by the side of the microwave and say, okay, your food is there, leave him alone. The man, we now did it, he didn't eat. He left the food there. He was angry because she did not do those things that she normally
That's why
does
they say don't
by
start
kneeling
what
down.
we cannot finish.
Do you know the end marriage did not work? Oh, it ended up
Kai,
catapulting because the man could not calm down, he could not unlearn, he was stuck in that same way of doing things. And the woman who had had it, she was exhausted, she was
yeah,
tired. She
it's
was like,
exhausting.
I'm done,
It's exhausting.
you know.
It's really
Yeah,
exhausting.
Biajulo in the house, long time. How now?
That's why I say now unlearning like is the thing. You just have to understand. It's just like let's say something happened in life and something happened to you and you can't do the things that you do anymore. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Yeah,
So people around you will have to like look for a way to be able to cope with you because you can't do that anymore. It's like somebody
right.
has a pregnant wife, your wife is to bend down and sweep and mop, and then even at
Eh,
9 months, you're still expecting the same thing. Like it's not possible.
exactly.
You understand? So you just
Yes,
have to like find a way and like, okay, how can I make it easy for this person? You understand?
yes. There
So
was a
you
video
know, people
go ahead,
go ahead.
sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
There was a video I saw. Some man, I
Mm.
don't know if it was a joke or something. He was saying that women nowadays are very lazy. That people are using washing machines to wash their clothes. That how do you know a hard working? I think he was joking. I have to believe that the guy was joking. He wasn't really like
Somebody
saying
answered
it
him now.
seriously.
Wasn't it a trend?
It went viral actually. Somebody
Yeah,
was I
somebody
don't know.
said something that I forgot what the other person said. So somebody answered him. I remember it was funny,
Yeah,
but
somebody now told him that car he's driving, he should drop the car and be trekking to work,
Benny. I remember. Yes, that was what the
right?
other person
Because
said.
driving has made him lazy, so he should stop
Yep.
driving and walk.
I'm on driving. They make person lazy. Oh.
Exactly.
Nah, just
Driving
for
they
real.
make person lazy.
Allah. I know they work out go anywhere now. I won't go here, here, here.
I dey
I'm just
waka
park
oh,
around.
me I dey waka.
Mm.
Me I be person I go park my car, go waka go grocery. Now me be that
Especially
person.
inside this school.
Inside
No.
this school that they do am oh, for I go just dey
Summertime, I
waka.
rain.
Well, na get snow, so I no fit speak to una type of cold. Our own, we no dey get snow for here, so it's a lot different. I go just waka briskly, go store, waka, buy things, come back, kpakpa, I don come back. I'm telling you. But if I wan buy
And
plenty things, of course, if I wan buy bulk,
right.
like maybe if I wan go Costco, there's no way I'm gonna do that. Of
No,
course not.
yeah. Costco now
Mm.
wholesale now.
So I would just go, maybe I would drive. But if I dey go like, maybe a safe way next to me, I go just waka, buy a few
No, I
things,
have
put
one
am
by
on.
my house. Even now I walk to the place. So.
So you can walk. I mean, car is needed for distance, but like short distance, like where I can go,
Let me
like
give you
as you
another
said.
analogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if woman get belle, the prayer would be say, if you born, make you born healthy baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
God forbid, and when you have the baby has a need, like a special need. You know,
Yeah,
adjust.
that's well, of course. Why not? Absolutely.
Exactly. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. People just don't want to look at it that way, but it's the same.
Right.
See, it's just like I told myself like this year, right? So in church we have like workers meeting, Sunday school, and then main service. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't told myself like this is the only time that I will give God in a week to go to church. Why is that a problem? Why will I not go for this and go for that? So I don't make it that okay, since I will have to wake up early and go to work and do this and do that. I now made it upon myself for my church service to sometimes look like I'm going to work. So I have to get ready at a certain time, make it to the church at that time. You understand?
Right.
Like I don't want to be late. I have to go for this. I have to go for that. I have to go for that. So it's about intentionality, honestly speaking. So if
That's
some
true.
people are not intentional, if some people go into it for a different reason, for a different motive, there's nothing you're gonna tell them that they will do what they're supposed to do because
Yeah.
they get their own thing for mind.
Exactly. See wetin Mira will put for
So
here now. Say na so women go dey overdo. Exactly. If you are kneeling, you got to continue until unless something happen. Oh my God, Mira, unless something happen to the knee. If you can't justify stopping, then the husband won't understand why she should stop. Exactly.
yes,
That's why
yes,
the guy could
for
not
a
understand it.
fact.
The guy was mad. Like, you've been doing this now, you've been working. Why stop now?
You know, like we have a friend, right? She had a Christmas party this Christmas, and she invited a few of her girlfriends to come over. And when we went over, I think we were like almost, we were more than 10.
Right.
Everybody that went there knew that Kenny don't want people getting on her rug with your
Mm-hmm.
slippers. No matter how close you are with her, she just walk and tell you, ah, no, 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 no rug on my, no shoe on my rug. Oh. Go and move your shoe. That's her rule in her house. You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
if you come now, you're not gonna say, oh, I didn't know that. But if from the beginning she didn't have a problem with that, and now somebody comes and she's like, no, it's because this one is new, or it's because this is that. You've always been allowing it. So now it will be struggle
So
for you
why
to have people
now?
to stop.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that one I was doing that. I didn't say there's nothing anything wrong in that, but don't make it. She can make it ceremonial, like time to time. You understand?
Right.
But not like the everyday thing because when it's time now, they will not understand that. Okay, some adjustments need to be made.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. No, it's true. If you're going to do, make sure you do something that you know you are going to keep doing. Don't start
yeah,
something and then halfway start to complain. Because now you totally the person, now you totally the person truth. Right? Who doesn't like to be? I mean, if you don't already spoil him with service like that, he will never ever understand why you have to stop. Because you've been doing it without complaining. So why do you want
Baba
to
no dey
stop now?
retire now. I need to
Exactly.
do transfer.
You understand? So it's I mean I don't understand, but I just feel for we men and women, start what you know you can continue. Don't
Yeah.
do what you know you can continue and what makes sense. Not go overdo yourself. Overdo, then go enter one chance. Then
Wetin
you
be that
constantly
song wey is it na Sake song Overwise?
which one be that? Who sing that? I don't know that
I
song.
think it's Asake. It's said Overwise.
Ashake,
They
okay,
see
I know.
everybody as underwise.
Oh, is it Overwise? No, it's not.
One of our
I don't.
friends, she had a
I
guest from
don't.
Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So both of them are busy people, and that my friend is a nurse. So this woman has had two failed marriages. So she now came now, and she now told my friend's husband. My friend went to work. She came back. The husband just go fridge, warm soup, make eba for himself, sit down dey chop. So as my friend just come back, she just go. She just husband say, "How far you don't chop?" Say, "Ah, still ain't chop eba o." She wan say, "Okay, make she go baff." She asked him, say, "Okay, say in the chop, make you go baff." So that happened, I think, two days in a row. But she always makes soup for like a whole month. I put in her fridge.
Wow.
So
A
this
whole
woman now
month.
said, that, yeah, she put in her freezer. Yep, because she's a nurse. Sometimes you're at work and they tell you you're not coming
That's
back.
true.
Somebody
Yeah.
calls out, you can't leave. So you want to just, and those are one of the sacrifices women make. You want to make sure that your family are they're good if you're not there. So she like, I might not be there to cook for them all the time, but let there be something that they can just do fast, fast, and just eat. So the woman now told her that that she's been here 2 days. So you seen this guy going to the kitchen cooking by himself. That she needs to tell the woman how to keep a man. My friend lost it that day. She lost it. She was like, can you imagine this? I'm like, nah, nah, nah. Slow down.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mr. Ify. Thank you so much. Oh, you're my biggest fan. Oh my God, I'm blushing. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. From Niger Watch. Wow. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Hmm. My sister. The thing they say, I don't know. Onto the subject of whether marriage na scam or not. I already came to that conclusion from the last time that um everybody get their own experience, and sometimes people they look for where to come share that experience, right? So when they start conversation like, oh, marriage is a scam, it already speaks to what they're probably experiencing in their homes, and they are
And
looking
aside
for
that, right? Honestly,
Mhm,
aside that, when
mhm,
I said Hausa people have something. If you're getting married, they call it bincike.
uh-huh,
So bincike is like they go investigate where you're coming from, the type
right,
of family you have, da 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 da. So
uh-huh,
most times, right, some people just jump into. They don't do all those investigations, and you just have to understand that it's two different backgrounds. So there will be clashing at some point of like ideologies, of like how you're being brought up. It's not going to be the same with the way the other person is being brought up. You just have to be ready to accommodate. You just have to be ready to adjust. And when changes need to be made and sacrifices, you just have to do that. That's all. But
hmm,
people don't check that. So after
yeah,
they enter, they get expectation. And then when that is not happening, then they start saying marriage is a scam.
exactly. But why do they? That's the problem. Anyway, they say it's the danger of a single story. When you come out and start saying that, people they listen to you, they say, "Ah, maybe not true," because they also have had bad experiences, and they have not gotten over their own experience. So they
See,
will feel,
somebody that
yeah,
has been involved in plane crash and say, I will never enter plane crash again. I'll never
thank
enter
you.
plane again because of my experience. Will not come and tell you that entering plane is a bad thing. And you say, I will never
Mm-hmm.
fly because of what that my sister told me. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Don't forget, even that plane says that different pilots be flying.
That's true. That's
So
very,
you
very
can't
true.
tell. Yeah. Some people know they climb Okada. Some people know their job with that. I enter Nigeria today, I pick climb Okada from anywhere, go anywhere. Some people will not because they've
Yeah,
had an experience.
because they've had a
So,
bad
but you can't
experience with
exactly.
it.
So you can't tell me
Yeah.
it's bad. So that's the problem people have. They're just projecting themselves on people and trying to have people buy their idea, and maybe they want to become it at the freeze of their time.
Yeah. Neka says people that started the marriage is a scam thing are people that are not even married. The one that started, this guy is married, oh, that said
Isn't he
marriage
married?
is a podcast. Yeah, it was a podcast. It was guy was married. Oh. In fact, I think they were all married. I'm not sure. Anyone can correct me. Yeah, now married person. Oh, so now maybe they talk. Some of these people maybe they get bad experience inside their marriage. They'll come upon the talk negative about marriage.
Maybe
Just like
na Catholic wedding then do. So that's the only way to that's the only way to air their grievances.
exactly, and to your point, Natu, some people go fall off when they dey ride horse. They go fall
Yeah,
and the fall go bad.
yeah,
They say the best way to get to get over your fears to get back on the horse and keep riding.
that's right.
eh?
That's right. That's
So
why you see
other
some people
one,
even after divorce they will say I still believe in love. I'm still
exactly,
hoping. And some
you
people will
know
say, if this one I will not do it, I beg, this stress too much. But what makes you think that the other person will be the same as this person? But
exactly.
because you're not ready to change what you are offering, that's why you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling is the same thing. You feel me?
Right,
So
right.
sometimes what we are offering to is a problem.
That's true. Clementina says, from childhood, my mama say A good wife must cook, clean, and may have male children. Hey, God, do see what
Jesus.
they don't train us with. Your husband's job is to provide money. This is the main problem. That's true with marriages today. Men no want change. Exactly. So imagine say you bring up children like that, they now find themselves in a different location entirely,
Mm.
where we say the woman fit be the one when they bring money, or both of them dey work.
Exactly.
Do you
That's the
understand?
point.
So you expect say the woman
Mm.
go work finish, come house, come cook, come take care of children, come clean, come do everything. You wan kill am?
Yeah, but the problem is because there are some people that are already doing that. So it will be like, okay,
Yes.
that other person they do, and why you know if you do it?
That's the thing. Because there's some
You
women who do
understand?
it. There's some women who really do it. They are super women who do these things. They will come back, they go do everything. But not everybody has the
Yeah.
same
Now
strength.
some way some parents they do now, they'll tell their children, say, your mate marry husband will build
Exactly.
house for me. Your mate buy mama car. Pressure go start. My God,
Exactly.
we are grateful. Nah, 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 nah.
You know,
So
too
that's what
much
it is.
pressure. Yeah. It did kind thing when Clementine dey talk. So that it make most people their marriage they shake up and down. Because when both parties they're not willing to change or adapt to change. They come new
Yeah, it's a
environment
problem.
with a whole they no want change. That they cause
Let
some
me
of
give
the
you one quick story.
problems.
One guy came from Nigeria, right? And
Mm,
during winter, oh, they were telling this guy to wear cap, to wear hat. He say, ah, Omo Naija. Say, ah, you know the kind cold they see. You know this guy had got stroke, right?
mm-hmm,
Because he wasn't wearing a hat. It was too cold, like that kind of bone chilling cold in New
oh
York.
my God.
He fell ill now. He had stroke. I don't know where he is now,
Oh
but I just hope
my,
he's better. Yes.
he
Yeah.
had a stroke.
Yes. 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 You
That
come to
is
a new place and
crazy.
they're telling you what to do. You're saying, Omo
You are
Naija. Boy,
arguing. No,
yep.
that's crazy. Neka says they say marriage is a scam because of other people's experiences and what they heard from close relatives. That's true. People will look at other people's experiences and judge based on that, not knowing that you're two different people. The fact that it's a scam for one person doesn't mean it's a scam for you, right? You understand? So
So let me give you
sometimes
another
that
analogy. If you say it's a scam, right? Because of what you've been through. So is it also safe to say being rich or having money is not good?
thank you. Great example.
Yeah. You won't say to get money no be good thing. I just want to be
Exactly.
understand something because if that's what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
So that's
Obiagulu
why like
says, go ahead.
I'll say what?
She says, over the years, women have evolved, but men refuse to do same. But
That's it. They
the
never received the
major,
memo.
I would say major. I don't want to say all men because I've seen some men who are greatly evolved. Even they are evolved self.
That's true.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they affect me. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
there are majority men out there that have refused to evolve, but there are also a lot of men that have evolved. They understand these things and they are evolved. I have a friend who he says he doesn't mind his wife not cooking, doesn't that's not what he's looking for in a wife. He's not looking for a maid. You understand? He's not looking for someone to come and sleep in the kitchen morning, night, and day. No. And he's going to be there to serve his wife. That's his mentality. And he's dating someone now. I think they're getting married very soon. You can tell their relationship is like that. So there are men who are involved. It's just unfortunate because the people who have not are the loudest. They are the ones that have the louder because they're
And
frustrated.
them
They are
loud
not
cows.
getting the girls like they used to back in the day. So now they are angry. So the frustration don't they affect them. Meanwhile, instead of them to look themselves in the mirror and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? What can I change here?
Exactly. That's the
They
problem that
won't
people
do
have.
it. They won't
It's just
read
like you having
books.
a job now. It's just like you having
Uh-huh.
a job and everybody's
Mhm.
going ahead of you. And because they are not giving you, it's two ways though. It might be
Yep,
you're adding value and they just choose not to give you what's befitting of what you're adding, or
exactly.
you're not adding any value. Other people are doing it. and you've not revamped yourself or think of what you will do to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to be going and
Exactly.
becoming. So
You know? So that's the problem. So if people would look themselves in the mirror first and say, okay, what do I need to, what are those things that I should stop doing that's going to make my life easier? What can I do to make life easier for the other person? Right? Instead of staying in that same old mindset of, oh, not to wait to happen to your I better come back, oh, not to. I don't know what happened to her connection there, you know. Instead of them to look themselves in the mirror and say, what are those things what are those things that need to change? What do I need to do better? How can I serve? How can I make this person's life easier? No, instead, they want to put all the responsibilities on you. Okay, so when someone comes, imagine a man that comes from a home, as Clementina gave us example, that a man is supposed to do this, make all the money and all of that, right? So the man will come in with that mindset and say, after all, my only job here is to make money. So you need to serve me. You need to prove, you need to do everything I'm asking you. You are the one that will take care of the children, and it messes up their mindset. It messes up their mind because then they now start to struggle. They now start to struggle with, do I go? Do I believe this? Because it looks like it's not working for me, or do I change? But instead of them to actually change and say, okay, let me even try and work this out so that everybody's happy. No, instead they will stand and say, no, for what? This is rubbish. This is all Western ideas. It's not Western idea because the woman is crumbling under a lot of chores. Why don't you help her? Make it easy for her so that when you want to do gymnastic in the other room, she's not exhausted. How about that? How about that thinking? You know, Marian, Marian in the house.
Hi.
Marian, hello, my darling. Good to have you.
Hi.
Hi, happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday. This color really, really suits you. Sometimes people wear some certain things
Uh
and the
huh.
color is just them. And
Uh
I think
huh.
I think purple might actually be your color for real, for real.
Really? Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Purple dresses from now on. Purple clothes, purple everything.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
like in the past 6 months, I found this um I don't know, I read an article somewhere and it talked about
Mhm.
jewel tone clothes. So since then, I've been buying only jewel tone clothes. And I'm not kidding. It changed my life because even if it's just like a regular shirt that you're buying, but
Uh-huh.
if the color, because our skin tone is so rich and it's so vibrant. So when
Right.
you wear a fabric or a color that brings like further accentuates the skin tone, it
Skin
elevates
tone.
the whole thing. So even if it's a plain shirt, the fact that it's a a rich color just
Right.
it makes it look even nicer. So I think that's what's happening because it's a regular top, right? But because it's
Right. Yeah. It's
purple
a regular top. Yeah. It's
and
like a sweater type. Yeah.
you look
Regular
good.
top.
You look
Yes.
good. I love the afro. I love
Thank
everything.
you. Thank you.
Wait,
Thank you, girl. Thank you. I'm rocking it.
why did Natu disappear? I came here to play devil's advocate and now she's gone.
She's gonna come back. I'm sure maybe something happened with her connection. Now to come back, oh, I've shared my link again. We are waiting for you. We are
Okay.
waiting. We are waiting.
So obviously I'm not married, so I don't know whether marriage is a scam. But I support what Neka was saying initially that when it started trending, it's not the podcast that he did, but
Oh,
like
really?
years ago when he started saying it on social media, marriage is a scam. It's usually single people who are either interacting with so-called married people in their cities, or when all these terrible stories hit the news, it feels like, oh my god, it's such and such a waste of time. Why are people getting married? Or
Mm-hmm.
single women who are getting hit on by married men. I think that's why instead of saying it's a scam, or the fact that these men feel like their wives are always asking them for money.
Right.
So it's like, oh my god, this is too much burden. But like, I don't know who pointed it out. I think it was Clementina. Clementina.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that how what we were told as children and the world that our parents and grandparents lived in is not this world anymore.
Mm.
So our challenge
Absolutely.
now as people living in 2023 is that we need to adapt, and we find it difficult to adapt. And I know we've talked about, oh, the men don't want to change. Actually, the women don't want to change too.
That's true. This is true. I agree with you.
A lot of them are coming here in the abroad saying the man is supposed to provide. I'm not saying, look,
Yes.
this is not to say that it's not the correct thing, because I struggle. I've told you, I think I've discussed it many times here, how I don't expect a man to provide, but I want you to have that provider mentality. And it causes me problems when I'm trying to date here, especially
Mm-hmm.
when I haven't had any experience dating Nigerians born here,
Mm-hmm.
but I've had experience dating Nigerian men who have evolved. Like you said, they want to over evolve, and now they are now like in a different space.
Yes.
And then I've met men from here, like men who
Mm-hmm.
were born. Like right now, I don't date men born in Canada. We don't connect. There's something not like I prefer another migrant who moved here as an adult, because I think we can
Mm.
understand each other better. But this is one of
Right.
the reasons, because even though we've moved here, there's no man provides here unless that man is wealthy.
Exactly.
So even though intellectually
That's
we
it.
realize this as women, we're still carrying that on here. And it puts so much pressure on these men because they all have average, not all, most of them have average jobs. I know people make more money in the US than the rest of us, but still, for the US, a lot of them have average jobs. And
Mm-hmm.
you like what was this your woman that claimed that she was indigenous, Native American? She had a Elizabeth Warren. She had there was a
Yes.
when she was still a professor. She had a thing that she wrote in a newspaper. She was basically saying the world that we have created right now, where women have to go and work, it's impossible to raise a family on a single income anymore.
Yes.
So all these stories of my husband is going to provide, that can still work in Nigeria. It's working in Nigeria right now, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work here for most men. So when you get married or when you're dating, and I'm not speaking to people, I'm speaking to myself too. You have to adjust some things.
Right.
Sorry, he can't be the sole provider anymore. You have to do things
Mm-mm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he also has to realize that this is not a woman's job to bathe your baby and wash your baby and read books to your baby at night and feed your baby and clean your house. If you can do it, then you must do. You're not helping her. That is your house. You live
Mm-hmm.
there. That is your job too. Now, as a couple, you can decide who does something better and then choose to do that. But you have to adjust. And I think that's what our struggle, like Clementine has said, that's our struggle. Like, even though
Right.
intellectually we know we have to adjust, but in our actions, we're still not adjusting to our current, our
State of affairs.
yeah, where we are, and our finances, our attitude to things. Like in Nigeria, there are many families where the woman is not heavily involved in like their household finances beyond this is our monthly budget for groceries. They're not really involved in the planning and the investments that they're doing as a couple. I'm not saying that this applies to most couples because it didn't apply to
Mm-hmm.
my parents, but I'm saying that very much the man was the head, so he made the decision. Now you are in the abroad. That does not your finances are linked one way or the other. If you go and check this and go and buy Tesla car and you didn't tell your wife,
Problem.
even if you divorce, you will. I don't know. In some states, you inherit the basis that the guy incurred. So this is not a place where you can just
Absolutely.
do things on your own. Like, oh, I'm a man, so therefore I know. So I think that's it's not marriage is definitely not a scam. You are the one that knows why you're getting married, so you have to discuss that with the person that you're marrying. But just the way we're asking the men to unlearn, we also have to let go of certain things. Like another thing is the fact that in Nigeria, it's the husband's family is very much sorry, the husband is very much taking care of his wife's family, and it's like a matter of course he has to do it.
Right.
And a lot of people come here, their husband is spending money on their bills, she's sending money to Nigeria. How about your retirement? You're stealing money away from yourself
Mm.
so that you can feed these people in Nigeria that probably could get jobs if they didn't know that one auntie somewhere just doling out cash.
That's true.
So I think it's because of how what we were taught growing up, and we are struggling to
To
adjust
unlearn
to
those
the world.
things.
Yeah, that's
Right.
where I think all of this is.
You're absolutely right too, Miriam. Thanks for bringing in that point and coming from that perspective. That this is very, very important. It's very crucial. You're right. And to Clementina's comments earlier, which I think is absolutely on point, is that because women, a lot of us have been brainwashed, right? And we have this indoctrinated idea of what a wife's role is and all of that. So even if
Mm.
the guy is willing to do, in fact, I have an example of somebody who was married and the husband can cook, so he goes to the kitchen to just help himself, and the woman, no, don't come to my kitchen. The kitchen is for the women. The man wanted to genuinely cook. The woman refused. So you're absolutely right about that, you know. So even though the man is willing to, sometimes the women say no. So there's also that part of it. You are right. The men and the women, both of us need to be changing, pari passu,
Yeah,
accordingly. It can't be one person. And when you're in an environment, right, where you know that, man, you know how things are, you can't just expect the man to be doing everything. You want to kiss somebody's child, you want to buy them. It's
and
not
I
easy.
think
Do you
we
know?
forget.
It's rough. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just agreeing.
Say what you wanted to say.
No,
No, it's
I was
fine.
saying that I think sometimes we forget that the pressure to provide for a family is not a like it's not a
It's not
small
easy.
like you start to feel like if I make a like
Hmm.
I as a single person, I feel that way. I know that if I make a wrong choice, look, I could really torpedo my life for the next 6 months. Now
I'm
imagine that
telling
I
you.
have a wife and 2 kids. The
Hmm.
amount of like pressure is too much.
It's much. And it's not easy on the street. So getting a
No.
job, finding it is not easy in those streets at all. And there's also that aspect of you can't even rely on that job because they might just decide we don't need you anymore.
Yes, they're laying people off right now all over the place. Even the very nice places, IBs are laying people off. And
Everywhere.
you can lose your job.
Yes. And no matter how well trained you are, if you
Yes.
might be the CEO or whatever
In
of
fact,
the
that will make it
company.
harder for you to find another job because now you are looking
Yes.
for other CEO positions. How many CEO positions are
How many
open?
CEOs? Exactly.
So
Do you understand?
it's
Go
tough.
ahead.
Like and I know that because as Nigerian women, we're evolving so much. Like we're evolving. I think I've said it here. We're evolving so rapidly, and the men are slower to evolve. But we are still trying to do that thing where we want all the benefits of back home, where we take advantages of all the things that are here,
Mm,
and then the men, because they haven't evolved as much, they are just like, no, I want everything that my dad had.
yeah.
So there is like an impasse. So everybody needs to be like, I'm speaking to myself because this is actually one of the first things I thought about this morning. Like, okay, why is the reason I think of all the people that I've dated in the past couple of years, why did I reject them? And I'm trying to like go over my decision for rejecting people. Like have I because 'cause I know I'm picky. People tell me, oh yeah, you're very picky. But I'm picky with everything, food, clothes, friends, I'm picky with everything. But I wanted to think about it, like why did I reject all these people? Did I reject a good person? I don't think I rejected a good person for a bad reason. I think I rejected
Right.
good reasons. But it like all our conversations that we've been having about, questions to ask when you're dating people before you get married, all of that is making me think, okay, are you really considering the things that have value, or are you just getting into things that don't really concern you? So
Mm,
the fact that there's a video that Vice did last week, modern men versus traditional men. I don't know if you've seen it, but
no.
it was basically different types of men talking about what it is to be a man.
Hmm.
And one of the things that there's a guy, I don't know his name, but he's such a very handsome man, by the way. African American. He said he grew up in the hood, but for me, he was the most evolved person in that room. One of the things he
Hmm.
was saying was that as a man, even who I can be as a man, I worry about what other men think, but I also worry about what women think because I want to choose a woman, right? The problem is that we also grew up in that society where it's so patriarchal, blah, blah, blah. So the woman that you're describing who said, this is my kitchen, the woman's kitchen is, I mean, the kitchen is for a woman. Even if the man wanted to evolve, she won't allow him evolve because in her mind, that's a weak man and he's not attractive anymore.
Hmm.
So we're saying all of these things, but even some of us don't want those things to change because then we're also caged in our mind about what it is to be a man's man or whatever. So they sometimes continue to perpetuate this like traditional thing that they learned from their grandfather and their uncle in one beer parlor somewhere. Because
You
some
know,
of the women that they're trying to appeal to don't don't want them to really change. They want all the benefits, but none of the bad side. Like if you see an average man here in the abroad, they are always claiming to be the provider to their friends. Have you ever heard them confess to their friends that they're not the provider in their houses?
mm-mm.
They lie. And you and I
Hmm.
know this abroad. Unless you are making good money, there's no way you are the sole provider in your household. You're lying.
It's a lie.
It's a
It's
lie.
a lie. Oh.
But they lie to their friends because we all grew up in this same place with this same mentality. So they have to pretend to the men that they're the sole provider. And they also pretend to it's only the women that are married to these men that know that actually no, he only pays 30% of the mortgage and I buy all the food and I pay all the bills. But when he's out there trying to woo some woman, he's claiming that I will take care of you. I will shake.
Hmm.
We are all caged by where we come from. So even though we say, yeah, I want them to be able to do this, some of us deep down in our soul think that it is a woman's job. So I don't want him to do it because then I won't feel attracted to him anymore. So he continues to pretend to be a brute and
Hmm.
continues to shout. And you hear some women say things like, I like my man to check me. I like my man to how do they say it to I want a man that they want somebody that can, like be that overbearing power over them because they have daddy issues.
Oh,
So we say things like, oh, we want them to be this, but when they're actually that thing, we think, oh my god, he's so weak, he's crying.
eh, who says that? Please
Ah,
give me the soft you.
oh my
Eh,
god. They say, no, I want a man that is strong. Yeah, man, you shouldn't be crying. But those
oh
are the
my God.
but
Please
those are
cry.
there's some things that I don't benefit us, but I've seen that we're not asking for those. Like the things that will benefit us are the ones that we're saying, help me with the house church, which is good. He should. But there are other things that same man will eventually evolve into, and people will not allow him. Not you people, you Omoye. I mean us.
I understand what you're saying.
We won't
Women
allow them
generally, we
evolve.
women,
We
our
women,
folk,
we women from Nigeria won't allow them evolve fully because we are also trapped by what it is to be a man.
a man, right? I,
So yeah.
wow. You're absolutely 100. I can't even argue with you because as you were saying it, there were scenarios that I've seen play out. That's exactly what I've heard conversations like that too. I want my man to be this way. You won't allow the man to evolve the way he wants to, and he will not be able to do those things in front of you because you'll be saying, I beg, which kind of man you will be crying. I've heard women say, what kind
Mhm,
of weak man will be crying like this? I beg, I beg, I beg.
mhm.
Hey,
But isn't that
man,
the metamorphosis of you have moved abroad, you are unlearning? Isn't that what happens when you unlearn? They know that it's okay to cry.
exactly.
Not just
It's
that you should
okay
help
to,
you wash the bill
you know,
and be
hey,
wash the plate and do laundry. That's one side. But there are other sides too, right?
that's so true. You're very right. Thank you very much, Marriott. I'm going to come back to you. Don't go. You are here. Do not leave. Let me say hello to Florence. Florence, welcome. Thank you for
Hi,
joining us.
hi everyone. Hello.
Hello. Happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday. Yeah. I've missed the show for a while now. And
I
when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is a great topic. Yeah. Yeah. It's
I'm glad
something
you're
that
able to join
yeah,
us today.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm so glad as well. Yeah, it's something that I've always been talking to my friends. Like, just like what everybody else have said, sometimes we kind of portray ourselves on other people. Like whatever we're going through, we want people to accept that as their own narrative as well, even though it might not be right. Like the
Mm,
issue of marriage is a scam. What are you basing that on?
mm,
You know what I mean? Yeah. Is it your experience? Is it your friend's experience? And did you look at the whole picture? Because most of these women or men who says that they're not truthful to themselves. Let's be honest. Like they say, it takes two to tango, right? It's
right.
so easy for us to want to blame the other person, right? With
Mm,
this narrative of an African man and African woman. Who brought all that up? Like a man or a woman is supposed to be doing this role in the house. I mean, I was brought up by two parents, a father and a mother, and my father did cook for us all the time. My brothers today, they do everything just like a woman. Like you cook, you clean the house, and their wives are really happy because that is what you should do. It's not about
mm,
saying, oh, this somebody else. I think our society, right, we've successfully brought up hypocritical human beings. It's not just about the men, the women as well. Have you heard all this narrative of, oh, this is a wife material, this is a wife this, like who make all those things up? Who come up with all
mm,
those funny acronyms of wanting to describe a human being? Or oh, it's a difficult one, to be honest, because I think a lot of the issues as well is we are not very truthful to ourselves when it comes to marriage. A lot of people are married for the wrong reasons, right?
yes, that
Yes, a
too.
lot of
Absolutely.
families, what they're going
Yes.
through is because of their selective process in the first place. If you
Mm,
actually make the right decision before you got into marriage, right? It will be
mm-hmm,
difficult for you to just complain about everything and let everything go. Like, this is your role, this is my role, because both of you are walking on the same path, you're going in the same direction. You've
word.
actually made a conscious decision that this is what we both want. But in our society, I would not say in our society, in society at large, people get into marriage for so many different reasons. Most of the time is for selfish reasons. Oh, I want to get married because my time is running out. Whoever
Mm-hmm,
comes along, you will not even be bothered to say, oh, is this the kind of person I want in my future? Is this the
mm,
person I want to be my husband? So I
right.
mean, it's so diverse. It's so, and I don't think we actually put a lot of thought into it, being the fact that this is a marriage that's gonna have to last for a lifetime. It's not something that
Mm-hmm.
you want to take lightly, isn't it? It's
Exactly.
the
You would
most
think.
difficult decision in our lives, but we take it so
Yes.
lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the most important decision. If you want to think about marriage as what marriage should be, I'm a Christian, so I'm talking from a Christian perspective. As per
Mm-hmm.
not just a Christian perspective, you want to make a family with somebody that you people will work together, right? You do
Mm-hmm.
everything together. What do you base that off of? Is it just because, oh, this person has money? Or yeah,
Some
I don't
people
know.
marry because the person has money. That's the
Yeah,
only reason why. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So if you marry somebody because of money, when that person doesn't have that money anymore, would you respect that person? No, you wouldn't.
They'll walk away.
Yeah, and everything about that person will irritate you all of a sudden, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no matter what, you would never if you don't love, like us women, I'm talking like from being a woman. If you don't love somebody, you will never respect that person.
Mm,
It takes a lot of self-control for you to respect every human being, and that is what a lot of people don't do. They only respect people they can gain something from,
mm,
especially in our culture. As long as you
right.
can provide, that's when I mean, it's difficult from our culture to respect a human being for a human being, if you get what I mean.
Right. I understand what you're
Yes,
saying.
it's something that we've made it so toxic that, oh, it's only when you are a somebody that's when I can respect you. The somebody is being the person with the money and the power, and that actually comes into marriage as well. So that's why it's very easy for a man to come and to come and lie to a woman that, oh, I'll give you all this, I'll do that, I'm a man, I'll provide. You know that is practically impossible. Most of our mothers, they will not tell you the truth. They were the ones actually bringing most of the money in the
Providing.
homes. Yeah, and they
Absolutely.
will lie
Thank
to their children,
you.
and they'll believe that.
Thank you. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, and not a lot of families that I was even shocked. It's only when I grew up, these girls were the ones sending themselves to school, and I was shocked. I'm like, but you have a father, because I am not coming from that kind of a home. My father was
Mm,
like, my mother did work as well, but my father was responsible for our fees. But you knew girls that were sponsoring themselves to school. You get what I mean? And yet the father would stand out and say, oh, I'm the one taking care of my children, I'm the provider, blah blah blah, I'm the man. And you're like, really, right? So we're
mm.
just all lying to ourselves. Unless we start telling ourselves the truth, these things are not going to go away.
You're absolutely, you know what? I
We
can't
just end
even.
up, and if you look at it critically, a lot of people, even our parents from back then until now, a lot of people, they call married people just because they want to get the title. They're not happy human beings. They're not.
Exactly.
I know friends who will come and tell you, oh, I cannot do this for my husband. I can never. But when you go and put a camera in their homes, you can see what they do. Like they're literally kneeling down, doing everything that you're like, who are you fooling? Who are you really fooling? You're fooling
Oh
yourself.
my God.
It's
Wow.
just a toxic situation where I don't know why people want to lie to themselves over and over. It gets so draining when you kind of have to live a false life, a fake life, rather than just living your truth, living, just being truthful to yourself. That will even make things easy for you because you're not trying to be somebody else. This is
Mm-hmm.
who you are, and the right person will meet you, and you people will build a beautiful life because this is who you are. Whoever cannot accept you for who you are, of course you have to change, because all of us have toxic traits, whether we like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Some things that we've picked along, either from
Right.
where we grew up or from friends, that there is no way you will say, oh, I'm a woman, or I'm a man, and I stay the same. That's practically impossible. You have to be evolving, like all of us have said, the previous callers have said. You have to be learning and unlearning, because there are some things that would, they might have worked 10 years ago, they would
But they're
definitely
not
not
gonna
work
work
in
now.
2023.
Yes.
It would not. So you can't just stay rigid and say, oh, this is the
Yes.
way that I was doing it in so and so years, and you expect it to work this year. Come on, seriously. But
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Clementina says it is us women that are training these men, Abby.
Oh,
It
yes,
is us women that
it
are
is women.
can resolve the problem. It's true. Now women they
Yeah,
born men.
because we are the primary carers of these men, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and we are the ones that are making these men very toxic. I've been in a situation where a woman will say,
Mm.
oh, men don't go to the kitchen. You can't, leave your sisters to be doing that. You go sit there and do your thing and play your ball. And I'm thinking, like, are you serious? What,
Mm.
like, how does that even make sense? And yet, and this is a funny thing, this same woman will want the daughter to get married to a man that is doing all the right things, right? And you cannot
Exactly.
train your own son to do the right thing for
To
another
do the
person's
right
daughter.
thing. Hmm.
So we're all being hypocritical here. We're just really being selfish, and it's not going to get us anywhere, because the next generation, trust me, the generation that are coming, or the generation even now, a lot of them will not be married. They'll just be having babies here and there, like left, right, center. One guy with three baby mamas. It's just
It's
getting so
already
toxic.
happening.
It is
It's already
happening, isn't it?
happening.
You see a
It's
guy who tell
already
you, "Oh,
happening.
I don't care about marriage," but you care for to having children with so many different men. I mean, so many different women, and then you want somebody to come and sit there and take care of those children. How toxic are we? Like, where are we heading to?
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
Florence, you have, in fact, you just pulled the entire cat out of the bag and you raised it up. You know, like that scene in Lion King where they
yeah.
took up Simba and raised it and said, behold your.
I just get so irritated when people pretend. I can't stand fake people. That's the truth. I really
Yeah,
can't. Our
me too.
community is so fake. We
It
are so
is.
fake. We are the most, like, when you hear what some women say, you ask yourself, right? I like, really? Are you a woman? Yeah, there'll be women that will be telling you, oh, as a woman, a wife material, this is what you have to do. But the same person, right? who have a
It's doing the
brother,
opposite at home.
yeah, is doing the opposite. I would not want the daughter or to even lift a finger in her own husband's house, but you want another person's daughter to kill herself.
To break her back.
Yeah, to do all the things as if she's a superhuman being. No, nobody is a superhuman being.
Hmm.
And then they'll be like, oh, but this person is doing it. That person chose to do it. I don't have to. Okay, that person who is doing it, how happy are they? Go and really ask them to be truthful to you. They're
Exactly.
doing it because one woman has told them that to be married, that is what you have to do.
That
Are
is
you
what you
happy
have
doing
to
it?
do.
Are you healthy? Are you not killing your back? Don't you have back problems? You sleep and you cry at night. You have all sorts of medication to cure pain and all whatnot. Who are you fooling?
Hey,
Can
Who are
I
you
say
fooling?
something?
go ahead, Myriad. Come in.
One of the things that we talk about here is how people don't focus on women. I don't know. Somebody's audio is on. I don't think it's mine.
Who is echoing? Is it me?
Yeah, I think it's echoing.
Is it mine? Maybe.
Say something now, Myriad. Okay.
It's, yeah.
I think it's
If
mine.
maybe Florence, go on mute first. Let's see.
Okay. I'll just turn it off.
Mute. Just mute. Don't go out, oh. I beg. We
Okay.
need you. You are dropping gems. Okay, speak now, Myriad.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So one of the things that we always overlook is how women actually compete with each other. So that mother-in-law that had a hard time when she was getting married, when she sees this younger woman who's living her best life, they're usually envious because they never got to live
Yes.
that life. So they don't want
Yes.
ease in your life. They don't want no stress in your life. They want that struggle, that trenches living that they did because that's what they had to do. So when if you go and say, oh, mommy, I need your advice. My husband was doing this, they'll be like, that small thing. If you know what I went through, because they're envious that they didn't have to live that you're not living the life that they lived. So
Mm-hmm.
she's right in that they want the best for their own kids, but they're not raising their kids to be the best partner for somebody. I'm not. I came here to play devil's advocate, and now I feel like I have to switch together. I have to switch together.
No, it's good. You can do both. You can chew gum and walk at the
Yeah.
same time.
Okay. So I definitely agree with her, and I also agree with her about the part about we have an ideal in our society. So because women are competing with each other and men are also competing, they present this face of in my house I do this. Meanwhile,
Mm.
in your house, you don't do that. But you want
Mm-mm.
it to be the ideal that Nigeria hails. And Nigeria hails big man, rich man, spoiling his wife, dominating his wife, being in complete control. And then the women go and play the same role. So they pretend, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I remember when I was younger, there was a period in my life where it was my mom that was buying the cars in the house. It wasn't my dad. But every
Mm.
time somebody came to visit, you bought a new car. Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Marriott's
So
dad.
and so.
And my mom would just be there, quiet. So we believe in the we in fact the gender roles and is a religion for us. So the women growing up, they still, even the parents, continue to feed the monster rather than break out and be able to say it's okay for the husband to provide and pay for fees. Like people were saying, my dad paid my fees. I don't know. Me, I was very close to my mom. So I know when my mom paid, like my parents, sorry, I'm close to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when who paid for what. And my dad didn't always pay for my school fees. I
Same
think
here. Oh.
my first
I
year
can
of
speak
CCA,
to
my
that.
mom paid
There
for
were
it.
times my mom stepped into, yeah.
Yeah. So but people, like, if you listen to any Nigerian platform, they keep repeating, my dad paid my school fees. You go to your dad for school fees. Do you really, like, if you're very close to your parents, do you know who actually paid your school fees or who handed you the money?
Yeah.
So we are so committed to this, like she said, fantasy
Mm-hmm.
of boosting. Oh, my wife is the one that cooked this. I had an ex who I never cooked. For the 1 year we're together, okay, no, that's a lie. I cooked 3 times. I made fisherman soup one time. I made
You
ayamase.
know how to make fisherman soup. Hey!
Okra is my deal.
See, chef. Chef. Are you
And
serious? You know how to make fisherman soup?
I do, but I don't enjoy cooking. I only cook because I really have to, and sometimes I make things that I love. And I do love fisherman soup, and I love ayamase, and I love my my smoked patty jollof rice, and I'll make my um that's some like snacks that I'll make, like things that I know that I can't find.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that you
will
can make on your own. I get it.
exactly I'll make
I
that.
get it.
But for the
Yeah.
rest of the relation, he always cooked, and every time he would cook, I would bring food back to my place to eat for the rest of the week. He enjoys entertaining people. So it's
Hmm.
not me going, oh no, no, kitchen is for women. Why would I do that? And these women say these things that go against their own interests. That's the part that baffles me. Somebody wants to do something and morph. No, you want to keep staying in the trenches. Oh no, no, no. It's the woman's job to take care of the children. So you'll be there doing as if you're an octopus with 55 11 arms, doing 1 million things. So
Hmm.
you if you some of us want the men to evolve and take up more responsibility in their homes, but some of us don't really want them to do it because part of evolving is the emotional growth, the emotional intelligence
Right.
piece. Any small they're shouting because back home that's how the men showed power. Oh, they have spoken. I listened to Pastor Sholana. I think Sister B used to say we should listen to Pastor Shola, the pastor that has a
Yes.
YouTube
I
channel.
listen to him too.
I've been watching him for the past 2 weeks and it's like, oh my God, so refreshing.
Yes.
Because when you're listening to him, he's telling you that when they have like marriage counseling issues, if they ever put the man and the woman together, the woman refuses to talk. She doesn't say
Hmm.
what the Nigerian woman will not say what her problem is. Because she wants to maintain that image of I'm a good wife. They want the wife material 5 years. I don't talk back at my husband. I don't like. I saw somebody in the comments. I will never, ever, ever disrespect my husband. I'm like, Lele, you will.
You
You
will.
put a marriage where you won't. Don't you have friends? I disrespect my
Yes.
friend, they disrespect me, and then we fight it out, and then we come back together. How can you be in a relationship where you and you never like? But that's what we're taught, right? The docile wife who never disrespects her husband.
Exactly.
And the pastor was saying that when they put them together, the Nigerian women don't say anything. But once you separate them, then the woman
Come
downloads
hear story. They will now start to talk.
everything. This is
Oh
what
my
he
car.
did. Thank you. This is what he did. And he was saying that give an example of a woman who, after the woman came and did her counsel, I'm sorry, and said everything that was wrong with her, and he asked for the husband's number, and the woman said no. And he said he asked her, so how do you want me to? How is he going to change? Because in the way we grew up, we are the one our ni we are the one that are holding the home with our two hands like this. So even
Exactly.
you've said that, okay, you have all these 50-11 problems, you think you are the solution, the narcissism of the situation, you think that you are the solution of both of you, really? But it's
Hmm.
because they're so afraid of
Yeah.
denting their image before the husband of being the perfect wife, so that he doesn't call his mom and her mom
Mhm.
and say that Omoyi is fighting with me. So we are committed to just this, like she said. I'm sorry, I don't know what the caller's name is.
Florence. The name is
Florence, we're
Florence.
committed to these ideals and fantasies, and we will lie to everybody, even if we are buying in the situation, we will continue to lie just to hold up that image. And the man
Hmm.
too, I'm not saying that it's just women, that the man too is doing the same thing. My wife is doing everything. Meanwhile, in your house, you probably do help around the house. Maybe you do clean or you take care of me. I'm not saying most do, but maybe the ones that do. But when they go out, they pretend and they lie as though, no, 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 I'm a man. Why would I be doing that? I'm a man. I don't do that. That's her job. So we are committed to lying just to hold on to an image that doesn't serve us anymore, doesn't work anymore. We need to let it go. That's the end of my
Wow.
speech.
In fact, hey, I did gbadun. I did. I'm sorry. Who's laughing? Oh, all of una dey laugh.
You be like saying that not to. I mean,
Natu. Wetin Natu do?
I just dey find not to trouble. I beg, make una no vex
Welcome,
so.
oh, BB. We
I
Hi,
dey
beg,
call your name
baby.
since.
Your
We
cold
say wait.
hasn't gone.
I beg, it
No.
hasn't gone. I beg, una no vex. I in fact, it's been so bad, but how
I
for
am on we
day?
mute. Make BBMG for talk. Echo. We dey hear echo.
Okay, the echo don't go. Is it better now? I think that was
Yes,
from my
it
other
is.
device.
Yes.
Um, First off, I think I have to say something concerning the last show. I said something about Daniel Etimefiong, and I went and I saw another thing that he did, but I think Man of Prestige brought out, and I heard a different tone in his voice and how he was projecting the good marriage. And I think maybe he has projected himself better, if that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
Have a look around as to marriage. So I in a way, and from the comments, I think he's doing much better than what he projected himself or the attitude he had before.
Right.
But in thinking about this thing again,
Mm-hmm.
something came to my mind. And like I said, what I am sharing are things that I am also learning. Um, First of all, this institution called marriage is not an institution that anybody ever graduates from, no matter how long you've been in it. It's something that you learn from every day. And a person that is not willing to learn can never be successful in marriage. It's a simple truth. If you are not a learning person, if you're not a person that is willing to accept corrections and know that I am learning every day in this marriage institution, then you can never be successful in it. And that is when it can become like a scam to that person. Because first and foremost, no matter how successful any marriage is, if you ask a man that has been married for a long time, they will tell you patience.
Mm.
They will tell you allow the woman to be who she wants to be. A
Right.
wise man knows that the woman evolves because the woman you married is not the woman you're ending up with. Things are different. Life changes have affected the person. But another very beautiful thing, which a lot of people don't take into account, or a lot of people do, but not necessarily be conscious of it, is learning and understanding what your love language is. So many people don't love the same way. So many people don't even know how they want to be loved. And some women know what their love language is, but they don't know how to communicate it to another person. So, knowing what your love language is very, very helpful. Hello, I hope I can still be heard.
Yes, yes, yes. I can
Yes.
hear you. I'm just drinking some
Yeah.
water here.
So learning what your knowing what an individual's love language is and knowing how to communicate that really, really is helpful. And love language does not necessarily mean and love language can change. So a person's love language at the beginning of a relationship could be the act of service, and going down the road the love language can change and be like, you know what, I like things being given to me. I like gifts, or I like you doing things for other people, or I like it when you just sit down here and be quiet with me, not necessarily saying anything. So when we as individuals first of all know what love language we like, and then we know how to communicate that to other people, then it is easy to get along well in marriage. Because when you know your partner's love language, you will try not to do things to offend that person.
Mm.
So, for instance, for me, my love language is act of service. Do things around where, hey, babe, I want something done. If you cannot do it at that point in time, well, tell me, okay, but don't ignore me and pretend as if you did not hear what I had to say, because then I'm going to start nagging. And then then it will now sound like I'm being a difficult wife to live with. When in the first place, all I asked for was, can you help me get ABC done? you would have made life easy by just saying, hey, I can't get this done right now. Can I do it later? But for you to now pretend like you didn't even hear me completely could bring, some kind of confrontation. The same goes for the other person. So when each individual understands what their love language is, and you know how to communicate that in a partnership or in some union or in a marriage, it makes it easy for you to be able to overcome bigger troubles that will come, because you like it or not, in marriage there will be problems. As long as we're imperfect, as long as the world is still the way it is, it's only a matter of time before the problems comes in. So I think that is very, very important to appreciate, even as a single person. What's your love language? How do you like people communicating with you? What do you like accepting? Some people like letters being read to them. Some people like songs being played to them. Some people's love language is, you know what, just take me to a concert and I'm good for the whole year. Some people like, you know what, just give me a lovely vacation and I'm fine. Some people are like, you know what, I want to cook in the kitchen and I like you being around if you have the time. So
But
everybody's love.
those things can change, though. There are
Oh yeah,
times
that's
that,
what I'm saying. I say
yeah,
that.
okay,
So
okay,
love language does change, because, and
right,
it will change because we're humans. What you
right.
like today might not necessarily be what you like tomorrow. But the
Mm-hmm.
important thing is understanding what it is, knowing what it is, and being able to communicate it. Because when you're able to communicate it, then it's like half of the problem is solved. It's just like saying, when you voice out your concerns with somebody else, even if the person does not solve that problem for you, the mere fact that you have voiced it out has reduced the burden on you, right? The same thing. When we understand our love language, it's easy to love the other person and it's easy for the other person to love us. That's what I think. It's just another added piece that we can add to building a good relationship, to building a good, a solid foundation.
Interesting. That's fantastic. Oh, I like your insight. Go ahead, Florence.
Yeah,
You can come
I
in.
just, yeah, when she was speaking, I was just, there was just something that was just like registering in my mind about this love language stuff and all that. I think
Mm,
it boils down to the fact that most of us don't even know what love is. We don't even know what love is like individually to understand what makes you happy. Because as an
mm,
African woman, a typical African woman, when you're growing up, all they're telling you about is how to please your future husband, right? So your happiness now depends on how you make that man happy. It's not about who you are as an individual. So a lot of us have not even evolved to that extent where we know who we are, what you want in life, like what is happiness. When you ask somebody what makes you happy, you'll be surprised that so many people will not even be able to give you the answer. What makes them happy, or what is your love language? Not so many people know that the answer to that question. So if you don't know what your love language is, how do you expect somebody else to love you? So I mean, all we do is looking at, okay, what is this person like? If I behave this way, how is this person going to feel? But you're not thinking to yourself like, okay, how do I feel as a woman or as a person? It's like it's never even been discussed because we are so busy trying to make other people feel better. But it's not necessarily, oh, okay, this man as well that I'm going to be married to have to obviously think about my own happiness, because it's just you, the woman, pleasing the man in an African context, which is really wrong. That is why we end up in married but lonely people, married but unhappy people, or happy people in general, even before you get married, because there are a lot of single women. I've been in that situation. You're single and you think you have a problem because you're single, because everybody's looking at you like, yeah, you have a problem.
mm,
That's why you're single, because you can't make, what I mean, you're not doing all this to make this man love you enough to marry you.
mm,
So the problem is, so sometimes I just ask myself, because I'm my worst critic, to be honest. I sit and I ask myself all these questions. Like, what's this life even? Where are we going to? Because there's too much pressure on somebody to want to make somebody to love you. That's not your place to want to make somebody to
mhm,
love you, to marry you. And that is what we have been told. When you're a single woman in an African society, you're a problem. Like, everybody's looking at you as you have an issue. already.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to conform. You have to be in this space where you have to be looking at, oh, what am I doing? How am I dressed? How am I walking? Not to irritate some single men
Let
around
me
me because I'm.
even let me intersect something right there, Florence, so I don't lose the point. I want to just intersect, like for instance, for me, right?
Yeah.
Most as I've had people tell me, Omo, if you wear, there's a lady who came to me, it's like, Omo, if you wear, if you, just imagine if you wear weave ons, I can see you wearing like hair, can you mute for a minute?
Okay, yeah.
Let me just, yeah, Florence, because of the echo. Like if you wear this hair, man, you look so, maybe when you do that, maybe you're gonna get married, then they'll find you irresistible. I've heard people have told me that, like, wear the hair and everything, make yourself, wear there's certain things, and like, you're too conservative with your dressing, show some, show some. But that's not me. I'm not against anybody who chooses to dress however way they want. I'm not, that's not my place. I like what I like. I'm just different like that, right? I don't wear clothes to please people. I wear to make myself comfortable. That's the first thing that goes through my mind. Am I comfortable? You know what I mean? So to your point, where they'll say, they look at you and say there's something wrong, and then they'll tell you, oh, maybe if you do this for him, maybe he would love you more. Maybe if you cook for him, maybe he will find you more attractive. I'm like, that means I say I'm okay like this. If I have to do those things, that person does not love themselves enough. I have to now be the one to make them, then there's a problem. Then maybe that's not for me. This was my response to your point, Florence, and you may proceed, please. I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're very correct because, they've said it to me. Somebody say, "Oh, you're so um you're so frank, like you tell somebody how you feel, kind of a thing." Then I'm thinking, how is that supposed to be a bad thing as long as I'm not saying it in a rude way? You understand? Because to me, I think communication is like the greatest thing. If I can't communicate myself to you, how do you know how I feel? How do you know how to even respond to whatever you see that is going on with me? You're not a mind reader, and I don't expect you to be a mind reader. But that's what we have been groomed to. We've been groomed into being some kind of psychic mind readers, where the woman that is so desperately wanting to be married, like you have to be the one that should do everything, or you have to behave in a certain way. And I think that's what is is causing a lot of this problem because a lot of people have entered into marriage with the wrong people because first of all they were not themselves. So literally somebody was actually loving the wrong person. The person that they thought they were loving was not that person's real self. And when you get into a home with somebody you're living together, how far do you pretend? How far do you keep that persona that you've created for somebody to love you? Like it's too much work to be able to do that on a daily basis. Like somebody will be like, "Oh, I'm a really good cook," just because you want to hook one guy, and then when you get to the house, you cannot be cooking every day. Then it becomes a problem. Just like what you guys said, earlier, like what you were doing before to get that man, you have to do it to keep the man. Then my point is, why do you have to do something to get that man? Just
So
improve
so
yourself
so
as a person. You get what I mean? Like if you know that okay, all of us have some bad attitudes. Okay, I have this rude attitude. Okay, how can I improve? You're not doing it because you want to get somebody. You're doing it because it is good to be a good human being for all of us on this planet Earth that God created for us to live in peace and harmony. But if your main goal is to do it because you want to catch a man or a woman, you're setting yourself up for failure because we change every day, just like what you said. What if that person changes to be something another day? Now you want to be trying to adapt to that person. Come on. I just feel like we're just really not helping ourselves, to be honest. We're making life difficult for ourselves. Yeah, causing all this ripple effect of,
so let
not
me
being,
let me say
yeah,
something, Auntie
yeah,
Florence.
yeah.
Sorry. Let me say something. Um, I've always said it, and I think Omoye can attest to this. The very first thing I ever say is every woman should take them a time to understand themselves.
Yes.
and you don't go into anything.
Flores, can you mute because of the echo? I don't know why it keeps coming from your end, so that everybody can hear. Yeah, thank you.
So you don't get, you get to know yourself first. I've always said that. This is the very first thing. Understand who you are as a human, as a woman, as a man. Get to know yourself. And that's why we're having this discussion, right? Now, I also shared that back home, we can see a woman kneeling down for the husband, and you, the third party from outside, call that abrasive, call that you know low class, or whatever language you want to call it. But you see, for that woman, she's not complaining. It's working for her. Her marriage has been going on for a long time. The house is in peace. So be it. You let that woman go on because it's working for her. That's her recipe to having a beautiful relationship. And so, who am I to go there and say, how dare you? You're giving a bad example. Now, if that woman decides she wants to teach her kids that, and then tomorrow the kids grow up and go to some other parts of the world and now see that this is not what they practice here, and what they practice here is not necessarily okay with me, she has a choice. Either she looks for a person that would appreciate what her mother taught her, or she tries to adapt to fit into that place. But you see, in adapting, in checking these two changes, in the process, she's going to get to know what she wants and how she wants things done. And it goes back to the first thing. Understand yourself well enough to know how to project that self to who you want to attract. Because if you do not understand yourself well enough, you will attract the wrong person. And when that person comes to you and you don't know how to communicate what you have attracted, then you have a problem. So you have to know yourself well. And one recipe for person A doesn't necessarily mean the same recipe for person B, which is why I said marriage is an institution nobody ever graduates from. If you're not willing to learn as individuals or as a couple, then you have a problem. So you go into the relationship, okay, you think you want to learn to be this fantastic person for that person, but now you get into it and then you're like, no, it's not going to work like this because I cannot continue being this. It's either you communicate to that person that, hey, this is what I thought, but this is not what I actually want. How do we go about it? Do you walk out of it if you want to, but at least make it known? Because when you are now doing mind reading and the other person is doing mind reading, you will definitely never be able to totally read yourself. I said something in the last show. I said, look, in helping, my daughter tells me pray. And I tell my daughter, babe, mommy can pray all she wants, but mommy doesn't totally know what you want inside, deep inside you. You have to learn to pray for yourself, because that is when you can bring out what is truly your problem. I am only going to pray based on what I see, not what I know deep inside of you. So, as an individual, you know what you want. No matter how much you try to please the other person, eventually that you is going to come out. And if you do not know how to communicate henceforth to whoever you're with, then you're going to have a problem. So, the first rule of thumb, you are an individual, not by mistake. Get to know that individual. You're an entity on your own. Get to know that person. And I've always said it, every woman is a powerhouse as a person. It is to know how to use that energy positively or negatively. And every woman has the ability to grow their intuition. If you now decide to be a lazy ass and sit on your bum and not grow that intuition, it's up to you. And whatever you get coming on your way, you made it happen. So in the world of marriage, there's so many facets to it. But the very first thing is know yourself, because when you know yourself, you will know what you want your other person to appreciate, and you will know what you need to attract, and you will know what you want from the other person. Yes, we may not understand love, but in our father's time, they also knew what love language is. I'll give you an instance. A man drives kabu kabu as a means of employment. The wife is the one taking care of the kids at home. The wife knows that when this man comes back, he likes his food in a certain way. Or let me say, he doesn't like repeating his soup. He likes his soup, a different soup every day. Now you will think, how dare you ask for such a thing when we don't even have good refrigerator? But the woman understands this. And you will see her going to the market every day trying to change soup. You, the third party, will be like, how can this man be so wicked? This man has been with the woman has been with the wife, with the children all day long, clicking, cleaning, and now she's going to the market. The woman is not complaining. The woman understands that my husband likes new soup every day. If you now go and put something in her head that how can you be doing this kind of work? It's a lot of work, Jerry. Just give him the soup you had yesterday and he will eat it. And then the man comes one day and slaps the wife and tells you, you know, I don't like soup, this same soup every day. Why are you changing it? Because that woman decided to try something that did not work for her, she has brought problems into her house. But if she continued with that method of, my husband likes a new soup, it may not necessarily be fantastic. Maybe small okra today, tomorrow small egusi. It is giving them peace in their home. She has understood the husband's love language. There is peace in that home. We should let them be. So our parents understood their love language. Our mothers understood their love language. They may not have interpreted it the way we understand them to be, but it worked for them. And that's how things continued. And there was smooth sailing. I mean, we think about it. People had several wives in one home, but they existed. Why are we having problems now? Because all of a sudden we are now giving them names and codes.
But here's the thing, though, BBMJ. That's all they knew. They didn't know better, right? And there was no excuse. Once you were married, right? You were married back in the day, in our parents' time. Once you were married, you were married. You could not go back to your parents' home. They told you once you're married, that's it. You stay in your husband's home. So what what they did then was to make sure, because they tell them the doctors when they're getting married, make sure you don't do what he does not like. A man wants a place of peace, so make sure you provide him with the peace that he needs. If he does not like egusi soup, don't cook it. If he does not like ogbono, don't cook it. Only cook what he wants. So they did what gave them peace, what prevented any sort of um, punishment coming from them, from their husbands. I don't know if I want to call that love language from their time. I think they did mostly what worked for them,
I
what would give
agree. I
both
agree,
of them.
Omoye. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they had peace of mind. And isn't that what every woman wants? You want
Not
peace in
only
your
not
home.
not always on the woman's side though. The peace of mind was to the man, really. It wasn't
Yes,
for the woman.
both parties had a part to play in it.
Yeah, but the woman was doing it because she wanted to give her husband peace. She wasn't necessarily doing it because she wanted the peace, as in she was enjoying or being peaceful about it. No, they will give the men peace, but at night time they are crying. When they get a chance to see their parents, they're saying, this is what this man does. I do it anyway because I don't want any complaints from him. Not necessarily because the woman is enjoying the peace.
Very true. That's very true as well.
You understand? So I think that there was a lot of their own way of doing things and seeing things is quite different from now, because the difference is that there's so much information out there and everybody seems to be exposed to this amount of information, and the world has become a global village. So, for instance, the internet, you're watching somebody, a couple in the US, they're doing all these things to their wives, to each other. And then in Nigeria, the man is still cooking ofe egusi and akpu for the man with bended knees, break serving. Then all of a sudden, she sees a TikTok video where they are breaking that myth of you don't have to cook akpu and egusi for him again. And even if he says he doesn't want, you can say it like this so that it will last. So there's so much information for us out there that our own grandparents or parents did not were not open, they were not they didn't have access to, you know. So now there's a sense of identity. The woman can stand on her own and do certain things, can pay certain bills on her own. Unlike before, the women couldn't do jack. You want to buy pata, you have to take permission, you have to get money from your husband. You want to buy something that they used to do woman month visitor, you have to ask the man. You want to go travel to go and see your parents, you have to tell the man. So there were so many things that were done then that personally, I know that a lot of us here on this life will not want that kind of thing to repeat itself again. So the peace should be both ways, but you know in as much as we're talking about this and talking about how we can both be good for each other, we should also learn. It's good to look back sometimes so that we know where we're going. Say, you know what, this is what my grandparents. Matter of fact, there was a TikTok video I saw. A grandson or a granddaughter was saying that she wants her marriage to be like her grandparents' marriage. And the grandfather started saying, you want your marriage to be like me and your grandmother. So, okay, let me tell you what our marriage was like. Your grandmother could not talk to me. If she talks anyhow, woza straight away. And I've lost count of the number of times I cheated on your grandmother. She dares not talk. Who is she? Matter of fact, I'll bring them home and she will excuse us and we do the do. She couldn't. I knew she couldn't go anywhere. So if she goes to her parents' home, they will send her back and even come and beg him and apologize for what he did, though, so that their daughter can come back and stay. The man was saying a lot of things that he did, how they sustained the marriage back then. And the granddaughter is saying that no, of course he doesn't want his granddaughter to have that kind of marriage. So it's good for us to know what happened then so that you can prevent it now. I do agree with Florence when she says a lot of people don't even love themselves, which is the case. A lot of us, and I'm only speaking about Nigeria because not only Nigeria I know. I don't want to talk about other people who,
Now,
you
true you
understand?
talk. Now, true you
Here,
talk.
may I put myself for where I belong? You understand what I'm saying? Most of us no love ourselves. We no love. We don't even know what it mean. We don't dey conversation. I don't dey midst of people where somebody will say, "Ha, you travel by yourself." Me, I can never travel. My husband doesn't come with me. I can't. It's not. I will never do it. No, no, it will be boring for me. It will be this. But this is my reality. That's her reality. Some people don't understand what it means to even come on to take a walk. They don't. They say they must do it with their spouse. Right? There's some people who cannot be by themselves. They must have somebody in their life before they feel complete. It doesn't matter whether the person is marrying them or not. They must have somebody there. A lot of Nigerian women don't know what self-love means. That's just the truth. Don't talk
That
of some of the men too, because even when they want to enjoy, their enjoyment no pass carry woman, drink beer for beer parlor, chop as soon. That's it. Then maybe the side chick will come become main wife after.
Now, true you talk. I so agree with you. I truly do. And like you said, from what our parents did then, like you rightly said, a lot of things would not be useful for us now. Now that we know and we see more and we mix more with people and we see other cultures and other things as well, we would not do that. But what I was trying to say was, even back then, if it worked for them, it's their storyline. as we get to know more and as we get to learn more, we now use what works for us. Which is why I said it is not an institution that you can ever graduate from, because every day
This
you are
is true.
learning.
Yeah.
So what was the institution back then is not the institution of today.
Mm-mm.
However, what do I want to work for me? I'm going to look at my own situation, and the recipe that works for me will work for me. I do not want somebody else to adopt my own recipe because it
Mm-hmm.
might not work for them. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have today. Like you rightly said, not just Nigerians, lots of people do not know how to love themselves. Lots of people do not know what it even means to take a vacation. I was telling my husband the other day, I said, somebody in Nigeria and taking a vacation to go back to Nigeria, that's not vacation, because you're just going back. It's like
Mm-hmm.
change of location of work. You're leaving the work here to go back, because there's no how you will go home and sit down and see things that you would not want to change. And you will not just sit down there to look at it. You will want to try and do something to fix it. So you go to a place where you don't know anywhere and rest, so that you nobody notices you and you can actually enjoy the rest. The
Mm.
same thing when we get married. You don't look at other people and say, I want mine to be like that. You look at yourself. What works for this man? What works for me? How do
Mm.
we make it work? What do we try to enhance? What do we try to pick up? And as a single person, okay, I'm trying to settle down. Well, I know what I want to attract. I know what I want in the other person. As much as I want all these things in the other person, what do I want that other person to see in me when they come close to me? What do I want to show off to them? And with time, I believe every human being has their own person. It's just that sometimes we are so much in a hurry that we attract the wrong person at the wrong time in the wrong space. But when we equip ourselves enough, I believe everybody has a person. The person might not just be there the way you want it to be, and you might actually have to groom the person to become who you want to be. But every human has another person.
Every human has another
Another
person.
person. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that's why I said before that it's good to just be your authentic self. Of course, there's always room for improvement. If you know that you have some toxic, characters, of course we have to change. But don't be somebody that you are not, like over really fake just to please somebody because you want to be married,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what a lot of our
A
people
lot
have
of
done.
people do that.
Even the
I
men
agree.
as well, they've gone to a
Mm-hmm.
lady because when you're in a dating stage, you'll be telling this person, oh, I don't mind. You just be accepting everything. You're like, just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, oh yes, I don't mind, I don't mind. Then when you get married now, they start saying, oh, this
You
person
start
has
to
changed. No, they've
complain.
not changed. That is who they are. They
Mm-mm.
were just pretending to be somebody else because they wanted to be
Exactly.
married. So that is what I talk about, being honest with yourself. This is what I can
Mm-hmm.
tolerate. This is what I cannot tolerate. The right person will meet you guys, and then you people will work together and you grow together. Grow in the
Absolutely.
sense that you will learn something and unlearn something, but you know that, okay, this is me. I'm not perfect. This is you. You're not perfect, and we are working together. But a lot of us have just tried, conform to other people's idea of this is what this person wants. You see, okay, even in the issue of like trying to match make somebody, a lady will come to you and say, oh, I have this my brother, this my cousin. Oh, but you have to do this is what you have to say. And I'm looking at her like, you okay? Why do I need to say all
Yeah.
these things? Oh no, you have to say because he's looking for a wife material. Are you like, what is a wife material? He's looking for, is he a husband
100
material? I'm also
yards
looking for a
wife
husband
material.
material. Yeah, exactly. So you're wondering, like, why do I have to be somebody that I am not to please somebody? It's
Yes.
a very wrong mindset, but that is the
Yes.
mindset we've gone into, because I have a lot of like friends who are married. The way they complain about their marriage, and I ask them, but if it's this bad, is this how we started? And if it's this bad, why don't you come out? Oh, you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. You don't understand. But why are you complaining
Exactly.
though? Don't you want help? I say you guys can go for therapy, counseling. Or, oh, you don't understand. I can't even. How can a man be telling the wife, I give you 20 minutes to talk. If you don't talk now, keep it to yourself and shut your mouth? Yeah, that's a husband. That's supposed to be your husband, supposed to be your friend. I'm like, I don't understand you people. You're giving her 20 minutes as if it's a child who is being put on, naughty step or something for 20 minutes. And you people are supposed to be in a marriage, like you people are supposed to be married together, and you cannot talk, you cannot communicate to your husband. And then and the guy actually told me, oh, but he wasn't like this. She accepted everything and now she's complaining. Why is she complaining? I said, you see the problem?
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem.
That's the
So
problem. And
Yeah,
there
you
are
so
people
pretended
who
you
have
pretended to be somebody else just because you
exactly.
wanted to get married, and now you're married, you're complaining about him and you want to change him. I say, yeah, change is not bad, but if you were like a completely different person, like the opposite, and now you want, it's like flipping a coin on like
Right.
the two opposite sides. You people can grow together, but if you actually lie, because that's what he's saying, that she lied to me, that is who she is. But now I found out, so that is all his anger.
Mm.
Yeah, his anger is the fact that she lied to
She
him. She
lied.
portrayed
Yeah.
herself to be this person. And I say,
because
you
she
see that,
wanted to get into
because
the
she wanted to be
relationship.
married. Yeah, she was scared
Mm-hmm.
that her time is running out. With all the
Mm.
pressure in our community. Oh, why you not married? Why you did it? And that is what has so many people in this limbo that they are. The man is complaining, and then they cannot even come together for themselves to go for counseling, to go for therapy, because he's so angry. I'm like, but you yourself, you have some work to do. You also were not this great of a guy, so why can't you people work together? So that's the point they are stuck in, that anger. You lied
Yeah.
to me, this is, and then now you're forcing me to be somebody I'm not. You
Yes.
agree, you accepted all this. My character was going out. This is a guy that you're married. You leave your work on Friday and go on holiday, and you be calling from Germany. Yeah, that's a husband material.
please tell
I
them
mean,
that. Please tell
Yeah,
them
you
that
be
husband.
calling
Please tell them that husband material. There's an aisle on
husband
Walmart.
material, be now
Go
husband
get them go
material.
to
Then
Walmart.
you leave
No,
work on
tell them to
Friday
go to
in the
Walmart.
UK, and you are in Germany, and you did not tell your wife and your kids. I say, I mean, that kind of husband material, no want. You can leave me.
I beg Florence, make you tell them, make them go Walmart. Then get
They go see
wife
am for there no
material.
9 years.
Yes. They go they then buy 10 years of the wife material. They Walmart and the husband material. Sef.
And
That's
then
so
I'm like,
funny.
I don't understand these people, eh? You
Marriott,
people are
this
the ones who are
question.
so happy, and yet you are the ones who are complaining and mourning every day. Who do you guys seriously? Like,
Marriott, this question is it for you said so how is this working smoothly in the abroad? Were you responding to someone or did you have a question?
No, it was when BBMJ was talking about the women who are married to men who don't want the same stew and their marriages are happy. And the reason I was saying that was because I thought this conversation was um, more like your new location, our attitudes, like how we're adapting to where we are. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not that. So that's why I put that there. Like, is it working smoothly here? Because that's the challenge. It's not the fact that these men or these women desire those things. Whatever it is that they taught us at home. So the issue isn't that they desire those things. The issue is that you've moved to a new place, but you all want to hold on to those desires that doesn't align with where you are right now.
Mm.
So that's why I said that. Okay, so it's working smoothly. I knew people like that, not in Lagos, obviously, outside Lagos, where maybe the wife had a government job and she could leave her house anytime and
Mm-hmm.
they could buy fresh whatever every day. There was no traffic to hold them 7 hours going back to their houses and stuff. I knew people who did that. And whether or not the women were happy, I don't know. But they could do it because the the society that they lived in allowed that. Like they didn't have infrastructure issues where they were stuck in traffic with people in Lagos. And then the partner that they married made enough money to be able to marry multiple wives and have this great life. The issue
Mm-hmm.
is now you've moved to Germany or you're living in a place where now they don't have the finances to be able to do that. The woman also has to work. Can you
Right.
continue to insist on this if it doesn't work for that person, the person that you've married? So it's not, I don't think the challenge is that people want some of these things. It's that it's not congruent with where they live in now. So they are butting
Mm.
heads because nobody wants to back down. So they're all saying, you know what, I married an African wife. Why can't you be the traditional African wife? But then your wife is working, earning money to pay your mortgage and pay your insurance on your car.
Right.
I agree with
And then the
you.
woman is
What you
saying,
just
I want a provider husband, Nigerian man.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry, BB and Jake.
no, oh no, what you said is so very true. That the style worked at home, and now we're in a different location. That definitely cannot work because things are different. In fact, I think, in my opinion, I think marriages from back home to this part of the world is a little bit harder. And it's a little bit harder because you don't have those extras that can cover up things and you can get away with it. Now it's glaring to you in the face what both of you have to deal with. So you have to
Right.
put in a little bit extra effort. You have to be more intentional in making that marriage work. And this is where conversations come in. And I think I told my husband's friend one time, I asked him, I said, why is it difficult for men to sit down and have conversations with their wives? You will see a white man sit down and they will schedule time to talk. Why is it hard for Nigerian men abroad to schedule time and sit down with their women and talk to them? What are they
BBMJ, they
afraid
have
of?
5 jobs.
It's ego. Ego. The African ego. That's what it is.
Because I don't understand that. So how do you want things to work if you don't talk
Change.
things out?
Exactly.
How do you share where the problem is? How do you even plan for the future? How do
Yeah.
you plan for the
Florence,
children?
you're echoing. Okay, go ahead, Evie.
How do you plan for the future? How do you plan with the children? How do you set up things if conversations do not come in? Because they need to come in. Back home, you could get away with it because there is uncle, auntie, cousin, nephew, niece, extension to be there to close things up so that the whole world doesn't know what is going on, but it's working for you. But out
Right.
here, you have to be intentional in doing, okay, we have to sit down even if it is 10 minutes, okay, on the phone, yes, let's do this, let's do that. But you need to come to some kind of round table to share minds, so to say, to make things work. Because the attitude that you have for the abroad here might not necessarily fly, or there'll be rocky times if you don't sit down and come to a communication. There has to be some form of communication for everybody to be able to agree to one spot.
Right.
So to your question, Maria, when we are out here, I want to believe, and I stand to be corrected, that a person that comes out here, you're looking for a better life. And if you bring your partner here, or if you both came together, both of you came out together for a better life. And so at some point in time, you will not just dive into the workforce, you will sit down and plan things out so that things will go well for both of you in order for you to achieve that better life. I think I want to have that much faith in our people to know that that still exists. Otherwise, we are all going round in merry-go-round in circles and not getting to anywhere.
If I can just come in as well, I think, right, the earlier our men understand, not all of them, because a lot of them are coming around, they are like really, being outspoken about all of this. The earlier they
Mm-hmm.
know that your family is your family, it is not your wife that has to make it work. If you guys have relocated somewhere else, you sit together and talk, okay, how do we move? This was working in Nigeria or Cameroon. I'm originally from Cameroon. This was working in these areas, but now that we are in this other continent, things are different. We are like in a like an enclosed space. In Africa, it's like you're living your life out there, isn't it? But here,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are in a confined space together. How do we make this work as a family? But most of the time, they leave it for the women to do everything. That's why they don't feel the need to communicate. And most people, they don't look at their wives. Most men, some men, they don't look at their wives as their partner or as somebody
Mm.
they love. They look at them as like, oh, you are the woman, so you have to figure this out. Literally, you're on your own. Make it work. You are the woman. You're an African woman, because an African woman is supposed to be a stone, like somebody that has to be a magician to just do things by themselves. That's the mentality most of them have. That is why they don't see the need to sit together with the wife and the family together and say, okay, this is where we are at. How do we move forward in this
Mm-hmm.
aspect? In Nigeria, we can cook, you can eat whatever you want to eat on a daily basis, and you have people, you have cook and all that. Here in Germany, UK, wherever, you can't afford a cook. Who's going to be cooking for you every day? So that fresh soup that you want to be eating every day, it might not be possible. So how can you get around this?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You can't tell me you want to be eating fresh soup every day and we both work. And
exactly.
when I come back, I have to clean the house, take care of the kids, and you go and sit with your remote on your hand trying to switch from one channel to the next. Come on, that's slavery. It means you got married to a
Exactly.
slave, not a woman, not a woman that you love. That's why I
Exactly.
always say it's good to be married to somebody who is your friend, right? You know that both of you are in this boat together. You're gonna survive together. How do we work together? But most people
Right.
are not together. They are living
Okay.
together, but they are not together. That's why they
Right.
can call their family in Nigeria or in Cameroon. They're building a house and their wife does not even know. And their
That's true.
brother is in charge of their properties in Africa, and you have wife and children in their abroad, and your children's names are not in those properties, but your brother in Africa is the one who is in charge of those properties. Like, seriously? And you are a husband to somebody, you are a father to a child. Are you okay? Are you all right?
Mm.
But that's how a lot of the men are living their lives. And then they start saying, oh, I brought this woman from Africa
Exactly.
and she's behaving like this. You treating her like a second class citizen, and you expect her to be fine. Some women do the same. They bring
Mm.
a man and you're treating him anyhow. You're like, oh,
Yes.
because I brought you, you have to do everything. Every little thing you call your mom, you're telling your mom. Come on. We need to. I don't even think a lot of our African people. We are the first people to talk about church, Christ, whatever, but we don't even know the dynamics of family. We don't even know what family is about. We don't
Very
we don't
Mm.
true.
know. Yeah, we
Very
don't know that
true.
your family is your wife, your husband, and your children. That is your first family. Your brothers and your sisters, they come after, whether we like it or not. The
Mm.
two shall become one. That is
Yes.
the family dynamics. But no, we get married and our mothers are in our business. Your
Mm.
husband will do something, and the first person you call is your husband. You and your mother, you sit and you're gossiping your husband. Are you okay?
Mm.
Please, it's a joke. It's a joke. I've seen things. I've heard things. It's a joke. You'll be telling
Mm.
your sister everything about your husband. Like, come
Mm.
on, no respect, nothing. I'm a woman, but I'll not see the things that some women do and I support them for no, it's not happening because I don't want somebody else to treat me like that.
Right.
It's awful. It's really awful. And then they talk about all this, oh, all men are like that. No, but there are some good men and some women are messing things up.
That's true.
They are
I
messy. If
agree.
you hear, you will see a woman will be saying funny things, and you think people will not go and tell your husband. Then when he gets hold of that information, you start being angry. Like, you're not
Mm-hmm.
even respecting this man in front of people because you brought him to the abroad, and so what? Like, how does that even make any sense? Why did you bring him if you don't want to love
Exactly.
him and respect him and work together with him? Why bring him?
Miss Stopnotch said something quite insightful here. I want to read it. She says, how many of the guys saw their fathers do it? That's another question on its own. Oh. A lot of people grew up and their fathers are very absent, even though they had fathers in the house. They, okay? A lot of men will not readily come out to say it. This was when I think you're talking about, you know, um, moving, talking about, what next steps, having the conversation. But there is a belief they've had held onto that internally have not been confronted. Exactly. You know? So you can continue, Florence. I just wanted to bring that out. I thought that was a very insightful one.
Yeah, I've heard men say that as well. But the question I ask them, right? I know a lot of us will say, "Oh, I want the marriages our parents have," just like what you said earlier about this grandfather actually telling the grandchild what he actually did to the mother. A lot of us did
Mm-hmm.
not actually see what our parents went through. We didn't because they were hiding it. They thought they were
Mm-hmm.
protecting us. You understand? So you would say, oh, but my father did this and it worked. But that was your father's day, and that was in Africa, maybe in one village. It was in a confined space. You are in the UK or the US, wherever. That same rule cannot apply. So if it worked then, how did it work? Were they happy? Did they do it right? Ask them, have that conversation even with your parents, the ones that are privileged with their
Mm-hmm.
parents who are still alive. Talk to them.
Yes.
We don't communicate even with our parents. We assume. There's a lot of assumption. They did
Mm-hmm.
it and it worked. How did it work?
What did
How
they
did
do
how
to
did
make
it
it
work?
work?
And what did they do for it to work? You are seeing it from outside. The fact that they are your parents, you don't even know what was going on between them most of the time. How many African parents will sit their children down and have a conversation with them? Deep
Mm.
conversation, ask them about themselves, all those things. How many? Most of us, we do not, we just know what they told us, or the ones that we either peeped or we eavesdrop. That's it.
or
So
or
we
or the
really,
or the or you or a lot of times it was
yeah,
what you thought you saw.
imagined. Yes, yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
You
Yes,
imagined what you thought you
yes,
saw, and that was
exactly.
because I remember this last conversation we had. I asked a question: how many mothers sit their children and ask them, why do you want to get married?
Exactly. You did. You meant in the last life. That was a
how many
very
how many
salient.
of
Yeah.
how many of them do that? A daughter comes and tells you, oh mommy, I found the guy, I love him. We don't ask why. What did you see in him? The first thing is, what are we going to wear? Where are we going to buy the clothes? How many guests are we going to invite?
Ashwabi, mother of the bright Ashwabi. That's what they're thinking
Yes,
about.
so that's all we think about, and that is where the problem starts from. Because, like you rightly said, if they had conversations with their daughters, the same thing will not repeat itself. No woman will sit the daughter down and say, hey, you know what? When I got into this, your father's house, man, the beating I received was so much, or the things I went through was so terrible. And I'm telling you this for you to learn, that the girl will now say, you know what, that is the lifestyle I want to continue with. No mother will do that, and no daughter will hear that.
Mm.
Instead, that conversation would lead to more questions, and that child will learn and know what to look out for, what to avoid, what to accept, what to ignore. Because let's be honest with ourselves, there's no marriage that does not have problem. Some problems are very big that you're like, I can't take it anymore. And some problems you ignore and be like, okay, we can walk through this. But the biggest thing is when our parents are not sincere with us and we are not sincere with ourselves, and we carry that mindset and get into something else as well.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think it's just a schooling and learning process for everybody.
Right.
What you see that does not make sense, then don't adopt it. If what you see you think you can imbibe and switch to be working for you, then you take it. But at the end of the day, everybody will have to be who they want to be, or who they are, to project to be who they want to be in their own space. And I really feel, what's wrong with women just being like, you know what, this marriage is for both of us. I cannot do the only work alone. You have to bring 100%, I have to bring 100%. Don't bring 50% and expect me to bring. What's wrong with women holding their partners accountable?
Wait, oh, how they want to know say a good woman? She's quiet, she doesn't talk,
Wife
she
material
does
now.
not
How can you be good
confront.
woman? You're asking too many questions.
Hmm.
You're asking
You
too many, so
can't.
they'll keep quiet. They won't ask. This is why they
Yeah,
have a problem, even having the
yeah.
conversation in the marriage. Because they started off by being quiet, playing a role because of what they wanted. A lot of people married falsely. They lie to get married, pretend to get married. Have we not heard stories where you start having issues? You now ask them, "Was has it always been like?" They'll tell you, "No." Then you find out the real truth, and you're like, "What?" And you still married him knowing this? We know all these things now, So some of
That's
them
true.
cannot have that conversation because the way they even take start, the foundation of it was false.
Was
They
rocky.
pretended to be people that they'll say if you put water in her mouth, you will meet the water there. That mentality, that wrong mindset, people, guess what? And again, because a lot of women were doing that, most men, when they see that you're outspoken and you challenge them, they can't handle it because they rather go and stay with Matter of fact, there was somebody I saw. When I was in Nigeria, I went to visit someone, right? And they had like a couple of friends over. These guys were on the corner, they were talking. All of them married. One of them said recently got married. And you know why he got married to the girl that he got married to? He got married to her because the girl allows him to do whatever he likes. He goes out with different women, does whatever he likes. He said that's why that he can never marry a woman who's going to be challenging him in his own house. No, that's why he didn't end up with one other girl that apparently he had dated before. Do you understand? So sometimes when people say, yeah, now women, sometimes women spoil men, yes, they are. They are responsible for some of the actions that these men dish out because they take it, they allow it. I was listening to a clip from Mercy. I think she does this menu thing where she cooks, right? I saw a clip of her having a conversation with um Joke Silva, right? And she was asking Joke Silva about cheating and stuff like that. Joke Silva now said, women, our women, we allow it. Now the women, and I'm summarizing, it's not what she said verbatim. She's like, women have allowed it, they've spoiled the men, they allow them to do whatever, they don't hold them to account. That's why they've gotten out of hand. I'm telling you, if a man is coming to meet you and you're being your authentic self and you're letting them know, this is what I'll take, this is what I want, let's talk about this, let's talk about that, right? He go behave himself. Even if he dey come with hot body, if he go cool down, we've already set the rules. But when you have women, they'll quiet, make you no go, make you for marry you, may not be saying that you no make am marry. Anything when the man do, you go take am. You go quiet because the one way that they call you good wife, the one way you know they talk, the one way you know they follow your husband argue. This is why we're in the mess that we're in.
Yeah,
Have you
not
not?
true you talk. Not true
Yeah,
you talk. And I saw that
yeah, very
interview as well.
correct.
I
Yeah.
saw that interview. In fact, the one where she do way blow my mind. Now when Mercy ask and say, so you they cook, when the woman tell her say, sure, she know they cook. Oh. I was super impressed. Say you don't say when she cook. You don't say. And in fact, as in they talk, they go, she can't even talk, say that the man not even they cook safe. No be say she don't sabi oh. But you see, now the pattern where she take now make we talk say make woman know himself.
Exactly.
No way you think you fit talk. Make everybody know themselves. No waiting you fit take and waiting you know fit take.
Baby, not just know yourself. Some women know some women when they know themselves. When it come to this marriage matter, they go turn to mumu. You don't understand.
Now
They know
wow.
themselves.
They
But
throw
because say they
themselves
want
out of the
to
window
marry,
when it comes to marriage. Yeah,
yes, they go turn
yeah,
themselves to mumu. They'll come
yeah.
marry you. You go see that they do like you go dey say, why are you doing this? This kind of thing. Why will you be allowing this person to do this to you? She say, my sister, it's marriage. That's how marriage is. Hell to the no. Hell to the no, 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 no. You're not gonna
Ha-
treat me. Nah.
Have you have you not seen a situation where a girl has a boyfriend and then this other girl comes along, right? And all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden, the guy would choose the second girl.
Yeah.
The second girl knowing fully well that this guy has a girlfriend, right? You will come
Mm-hmm.
and put yourself in the situation. And then when the guy chose the second girl, she'll be telling the friend, oh, because the first one was not good enough for him, it was not a wife
Exactly.
material enough. But
Mm-hmm.
she is so clueless, not knowing that this guy is choosing you because you have made it so easy for him.
Easy for him.
He
You are
knows that
taking
he
the
can
crap
manipulate you to
that the
get
first
anything.
one will not take.
Yes.
Yes.
And then when you guys are married now, she starts saying, oh, I thought he would change. I thought he chose me. But no, you did that because you wanted the marriage as well. So you were also tricking him. Now you've
Yes.
gotten what you've gotten. Why don't you deal with it rather than
Deal
complaining?
with it.
And you were the one laughing, making the mockery at the other person not being a wife material enough. You are the wife material. What is wife material? Somebody that
Thank
can
you.
just sit there and be a doormat for the man to just walk on. But that's what some of the men are looking for, not all men, because not every man
Yes.
wants the typical African wife material, being
Mm-hmm.
naive and quiet. You can't even say anything. You can't have a proper conversation.
Mm-mm.
In this lady's scenario you're talking about, the interview with Messi, don't you see how much this man loved the wife because she was
Yes.
true to herself? And that is
Exactly.
what marriage should be about, not you wanting to break your back for somebody else just for the person to love you,
To marry you,
to
just to
marry
have a
you,
ring,
and have a
so that you
A
can
in your
tell
face.
everybody you are now married. That's what
I'm the one who is better than you because I'm married and you are not married.
thank you.
That's how
Do
we
you
measure.
understand?
That's how we measure womanhood in Africa, right? I'm
Yeah.
married. You are not married, so you are not wife
You are
material.
not a woman enough. Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember even
that's
there
where
was
the
a
problem
lady.
is.
Yeah, I remember even there was a lady that I knew. I used to work with her. She came to work late one time, right? Which was very unlike her. So she called me and she said, I'm sorry, I'm running late, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, no worries. When are you able to get here? She says, okay. She finally got to the office. My people, she knew when she got to the, she had these dark glasses on, like her whole face was covered. I was like, hey, kilo shele. Me, I was even praising her that you're looking, what's happening and stuff. She's like, can she talk? And I'm like, sure. So we went into a room, and this girl took off her glasses. All her face don't swear. Wetin happen? I think say maybe she engaged, maybe person. I didn't know. She's like, that she had a fight with her husband. I'm like, what? I was speechless. I said, and he did this? And she said, yes. And I said, wait, is this the first time this man has done this? She started sobbing. She was crying a little bit, and then she said, no. I said, what? He's been doing it prior to you getting married? She said, yes. I didn't know what else to tell her. Because if you've been taking it prior to when he married you, because I would assume if you're dating someone, there's some things you don't like. That's when you decide whether you want to continue or not. Come to find out, this girl had been even through the laying of hands. Through one time, the guy got into trouble, they locked him up in jail. She was the one taking food to him in jail in Nigeria. The things that this girl put up with, she said, oh my, I cried. And now she sits down and she wonders, why, stupid you, why were you crying? On top of what? On top of this? My ear hear things that day almost fall comot. This is what some women, there are some women who the man wants by the back from the butthole where the poo they come out. That's what they want. They will be dating someone that will say, Laye, not me. I'm not for that. They will meet somebody else, just like Florence. That one go agree because he want to marry. Because the guy has not met anybody that has agreed to that, he will put a ring on that one's hand. That one now come out and say, I'm the one he chose. I'm the one he chose. Women, my dear, I've seen and I've heard things. So make person not to talk. Now make person be quiet. Women are their own greatest undoing. Some of them. You think you're trying to spite another woman, but instead, now yourself you do, because now you're stuck in a situation. You now have to deal with it. People are not being themselves. And then when they see someone who's themselves and is outspoken, they say they are threatened. Because they are not used to people confronting them and putting them on their toes and telling them, oh, this, don't bring this rubbish here. Leave it outside. Leave it outside. Leave it outside. Don't bring it here. I'm telling you, if women did what they're supposed to do, know yourself, understand yourself, half of these things that men are doing now, they will not, they will dare not. But now we they give them, now we they allow them, now we give them leverage. And Joke Silva said it all when she said it is the women that allow we are we allow it. You allow the woman, you are too forgiving, you give him too much room to run amok. It can't be me, oh no, Jerry, really good. I'm okay like this, I beg.
And another thing to that is that the men themselves, you know, when they sit down and they talk, they exchange information. Say,
Yes,
if you like, no mind that, just do it like this. The woman go gentle. And
telling
not
you.
and not true. You go come out, you go say, what? How dare you? If he
Mm,
come out, you say, if he come back house, come say, how dare you? Make the woman tell her, how dare you back? You go back, go there and say, bros, it's no work. Oh, do my IT. As I raise my voice, she said, follow raise her own. The man go behave. But like you rightly said, our women, they take him. And they take it because you go say, no be your type I get for house. Why they follow me talk?
exactly.
They get away with it. I mean, a typical example is a woman going to report at the police station, say something wrong. They go say, waiting you do the man. Nobody they ever ask say, nobody they
Exactly.
ever ask say, waiting the man do? How the man go do this kind of thing to you? Then go first ask, say, now woman fault, waiting you do the man. What has that got to do with anything? You see woman in pain, you see woman crying. It hasn't occurred to you too that the man could also be not just all completely all there. You have already written a conclusion. So when you see that kind of a thing, why will another woman go and report? Because she knows that at the end of the day, the first thing they're going to ask is, what did you do wrong? Nobody's going to look at the situation objectively. The man gets away with it, passes information to another man, and the cycle continues.
That's it.
So yes, we are our gender, the perpetrators. Now our
We are the
gender.
perpetrators, oh, and now we
Yes.
they raise the men.
And then we
Now we they
pass.
raise the men. Not we they born the men.
Exactly. And it starts from the home where you go see woman go send, you go boy picking go sit down, no go do anything. The girl go a slave inside kitchen. Now there they take starts. But a father that will see both children will say, no, both of you have equal rights. So yeah, enter the kitchen together. As this one they peel the yam, this one go they cut the yam, this one go they wash the yam. Everybody get, when that equalization has been set in, everybody for that house go grow up knowing, say, the same rights where she gets, now me say follow gets. The same one head where my brother gets, now me say follow gets. This my brother fit build house, me say fit build the house. And at that time, that child is already being taught that, look, you're your own individual person. You can stand on your own. Nobody can bring you down and nobody can talk down to you. When we start with that, you're already teaching that child how to know themselves. You're already teaching that child how to add value to themselves. When they step out into the world, nobody can bring them down. That's where it starts from. But our people, my gender.
We get for hand, my people. This has been a great
No,
conversation.
you're very correct, because that's where, if you notice it, we, like a typical African woman, an African woman who actually was raised by African parents, we have self-confidence issues because of that aspect of your environment keep telling you are only good for, if a man can choose you, if you can have a husband to marry because of your attitude. If you don't have a husband yet, not that you never have a husband, because the world has not ended yet. If you don't have a husband yet, it means you're not well behaved.
Exactly.
It's always your problem. It's never the man's problem. It's never it's your problem for not being chosen as a wife. So how can you have self-confidence in that kind of environment? Your friends are saying it in your ears, the aunties, and it's always the women who even have this issue of wife material, even more than the men. Because when they say it that much, of course the men will pick up on it. So the women are the problem. Our African women, the aunties, oh my God, those ones you can't even say anything. Their own wahala is too much.
Who will not be the women they sing, come and carry me to my husband house. Carry me they go. Carry me they go. Carry me they go.
Oh my head don't make me
Carry
laugh
me
a bit.
they go. Not be the dancer.
Can you imagine what is song? What is song? What? We are in trouble.
We get to learn
trouble.
Oh my head, when I hear that song, I first ask, say,
understand.
when I hear that song, I first ask, I beg, now who writes the lyrics for the woman? Now which producer? Now which producer produced that music? And now how they put the chorus? I mean, when they write and they don't see the problem where they inside them. Because if you think about them, who they carry person go husband house? No be woman, they open door, say, I am ready. I will follow you. Before they
don't turn them upside down.
Then they drag the woman go to the husband house. Now the woman they talk, say, me, I ready, I'm willingly going with you. You say they are carrying the lyrics of that song, first and foremost, is faulty.
Very, very.
Because
you are the one
upside down.
You are the one with that mentality that the woman is the one who will choose, and they've made it so much so that you, as a woman, an African woman, you don't feel like you have any power. But if you think about it, we have the most power, because apart from the desperate ones, right? If a man comes to you, it's up to you to say yes or no. So you are the one with the power.
Exactly.
I've had so many instances where They will come and like, oh, I'm really sorry. You're a nice guy, but you're not for me. They're like, who do you think you are? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because
Yeah.
they've made us to believe that you cannot turn down a proposal of a man because the
Exactly.
man is doing you a favor. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I mean? So imagine that kind of
Yep.
mentality, that kind of thought in your head as a woman. In any man
Mm.
that comes along, you just have to say yes. Like seriously. But that's what
Exactly.
they've made it. And living in that mindset, it makes you feel so inferior. Like you just have to agree.
Absolutely.
But we are the ones with the power because you get to choose who you want. But because we are so desperate, I don't blame us because family is the greatest thing. But I think we've made it to be, to be so toxic is a most
Mm-hmm.
beautiful thing when it's going. It will not be perfect, just like other callers have
Nothing in
said.
life is perfect.
Nothing is perfect. No human being is perfect. So why do you want them?
Mm-hmm.
How do you expect the marriage to be perfect? It can never be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the most beautiful thing. But we make it to be like it's a bondage. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why you see
Exactly.
people looking at it from that angle, like it's a
Mm-hmm.
bondage. Oh, because I'm married today, life is ended. That's it. My life is gone. I'm finished. It's not supposed to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll tell you. Even the men will be saying it. This is my last day of freedom. How can you say such a thing? Let me do
Exactly.
everything today because tomorrow I'm getting married. It's my last day of freedom. Can you
Can
imagine
you
how
imagine?
derogatory that
And
sounds?
that is such a sad thing to say. I don't
It
know
is.
who comes up
It
with it.
is. I don't know who,
It's
who comes up with the
horrible.
source. And that's what, because that is how they see it. That is their mindset. And okay, if you already think something is a bondage, you're going into a bondage, you will not make any effort, right? To make it nice, to make it,
Yep.
pleasant, because you know you are in bondage. That's why you see some of them once they get married, they are going down the drain if they are not careful.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they are not looking at marriage from a fantastic perspective or from the perspective of God's idea of marriage. They are not. They are looking at it from their life. They always say, "Oh, this is how my parents did it." Yeah, because a lot of them, their parents or their grandparents, oh my God, what some of these women went through, you will not understand. So they saw
Exactly.
that and they know it's bondage. Because some of their mothers will be like, "Oh, I can't leave. If not because of my children, I would have gone. But I can't leave because of you." It's only when something is bad that that is where they'll make such statement. If it's a good thing, which woman in their right sense will run away from a beautiful thing?
Thank you, my sister.
No
Thank
woman,
you.
unless you are a witch. That's what I always
Eh,
say.
thank you. According to Esther, who will you give sugar to that will say no, but it's
Exactly.
bitter leaf
Yeah.
they want?
Yeah.
Who? You
No,
know? Me?
nobody will see a beautiful thing and run away from it. No, unless you are a
No.
witch. That's what I
Ex-
say. So you will
hey,
not, yeah, you will not tell me that all these women who are, or the men even, because it's not just the women, let's be honest, there are some
of
horrible
course,
women.
it's both
We know
ways.
that.
It's both
Yeah, there's some
ways.
women who like their attitude, forget it. Nah, you can't even think about it. Yeah, but when you think about it
Exactly.
from that perspective, you'll be like, I don't think we are giving marriage the credit. And I think that's why a lot of people have given up. But it's such a beautiful thing. It is.
It's
So
a
I don't know if it's
beautiful
because
thing.
are we becoming so selfish? Do you think? I don't know. That's the
I
question I
don't
keep
think
asking myself.
I don't think it's I know personally I don't think that people are becoming more selfish. I just think that people are expecting more. The ones that are expecting more are expecting more. But again, there's the other side of people have it upside down, where you have the likes of carry me, they go, carry me, you have that, right? And you have
Yeah.
people who are leveraging on that and taking advantage because they know what they're gaining. And then there are those who are just settling for anything,
And then
you
and
know?
then you have people that are just lazy and not want
Exactly.
and they don't want to
And
make it work. They're not ready to do the
exactly.
work at all. They don't want to
Exactly.
venture into it. They don't even want to think about it. They want everything made for them. And then when they get
Exactly.
into the house, they're not even ready to,
Make the necessary
no, they
sacrifices
are
or
not. They are not.
compromises.
Mm-mm,
Yeah,
mm-mm. It's like it's my
absolutely.
way
Yeah.
or the highway.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's an individual thing. For me, I'm not selfish. I'm the kind of person that's willing. I give my all. So guess what? I'm not just going to pick a random person because I don't know you. I don't know what you're about. So I'm not going to. If you are the type of person that does not understand what it means to be married. And I'm not saying like the way everybody else is doing it, like where people are just doing it just because it's a popular thing. No. Do you really understand what it means? You understand what I'm saying? So it's an individual thing. For you, Florence, and I don't you're not a selfish person. For you to have given all your time here and talking and sharing your knowledge, you're not selfish. It depends. People look for different things. Unfortunately, because a lot of these men have been exposed to women who will just take anything from them, when they meet you, they expect you to be the same way. So when you're giving them too much difficulty, they walk away because they're like, there's someone to see by the corner that's ready to give it all. Why should I waste my time with this person? Not knowing that not everybody is for you and you are not for everybody. So it's better for you to find somebody who you correctly align with, because marriage is not physical, it's spiritual. I'm one of those people who believe in that. So I'm not going to marry you because you look good on the outside. Hello, what if you are malaria in the inside for me? What if you are cancerous to my body? So
Yeah.
it has to match. So
Yeah.
people are not looking out for the right things. They're marrying for the wrong reason. If you're
Yeah.
looking at it from marriage is spiritual, from that angle, you're looking at someone who aligns with your purpose, with what it is, that you want to do in this space that we're in. Not necessarily what the person wants to bedmatics, all the things that you think come along with marriage. If that's what you're thinking about, then there's a problem. If you're married for the wrong reason, because everybody's getting married, let me just do it so that everybody will know I've done it, or let me bend myself over backwards just to get married. Let me take all the crap just to get married. Then you're in a long thing. You are doing it wrong. You gotta wait so that you can correctly meet with, because the way you present yourself is the way people will receive you. If you present yourself as desperate, it is the desperation, the energy that will draw the wrong people to you. But if you're cool and you're doing your own thing, you're able to sift through the BS. So when someone is coming at you, even if they look good and all that, they're talking good game and all of that, you can see right through them. So you need to take your time to ensure that you are aligning yourself correctly, because what's the use of being in a relationship that does not make you better? That does not, you're not aligned with the person. You're just there forcefully just to have somebody. What's the point? It doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, there are people. So it's an individual thing. People will like what they like, but the question is, what do you want? What do I want? What does Marriott want? What does BBMG want? Because we're four here, we all want different things, right? BBMG, of course, is married and all of that. But I'm just saying. So for me, I never look at what's going on in the world and think that, oh, that's a reflect. No, I know that I will never meet this kind of people. Me, no, I can't. Our paths not they cross, because I'm on a different. My mind, my frame of mind is different. The way I see things is different. The way I interact with people is different. I'm not going to allow disrespect, so you're not going to disrespect me. Number one. Do you understand? So I think it's the way we project it, and the fact that people are doing it wrong is the reason why I want to do it right, so that people will say, yeah, man, you know what? People are doing it right. I rather take this person's example of how it's done, or follow, or like, wow, I like that the fact that this actually works. So I'm willing to toe this line. What's her name? John Tola just lost her husband recently. They've been married for so many years, right? When she talks about their journey with her husband and everything, it's beautiful. So there are people who are having successful marriages. So me, I focus on those that are having successful marriages. I don't pay attention to the ones that don't know what is up, what's going on. Now, I'm not saying that everything is perfect. There are people who have great marriages, and for whatever reason, something happens and they have to go there. Even in that, you can still see that while it lasted, they respected each other, they loved each other, but for whatever reason, they decided to move, go their separate ways you know. So we're going to be wrapping this up. Mirabe don't come slap me for back of
Yeah.
my
Can
head.
I just add something, if I
Sure,
may?
please.
Yeah, you see
Yes.
this issue of we're talking about marriage, and there's this narrative that, oh, marriage is 50-50. The question I asked, because I remember a guy telling me, oh, I want to marry you, but we have to do 50-50. Then I asked him, I said, where is the other 50 part of you going to go? You get what I mean? This
Yeah.
narrative of people saying, oh, marriage is 50, I don't believe that. I believe
I
marriage is
don't believe I don't believe in the 50-50
because
idea.
I'm bringing my
Why would
whole
you be
self.
giving me 50 of yourself?
Exactly. It means the other 50 is going somewhere else. And that is where
Exactly.
the problem is. If you start dividing yourself to other people when you should be concentrating your whole self in your marriage,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's where the problem is. You hear people, oh, I
Yeah.
bring my 50, you bring your 50, then makes 100. Then you people are not
No,
whole then. Where's the
no,
other
you're not
50
whole.
going? You're not whole.
You're both
Because then you hear people
yeah.
saying, oh, if you're in this marriage, you have to have a plan B. That is, it defeats the whole
No,
purpose of marriage. Why are you getting
it
married
defeats the
if you
purpose.
already have a plan B in your head?
I
You're
think
setting
I think
yourself up for failure.
I think Florence, I think the very first thing anybody that ever aspires and thinks of marriage, the very first question is, why do I want to get married? It's a very simple thing. You should ask yourself that question. Why do I want to get married? Okay, maybe I have been able to answer that question.
Florence, please, can you mute? I don't know why you keep echoing from there. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Bibi.
yeah, why do I want to get married? And when you get past that one, the next question should be, what am I expecting out of that marriage? Because everybody has expectations. What am I expecting to get out of it? And when you now go past, if you've given yourself that answer, where do I see this marriage in the future? Because all those questions are not questions somebody is going to answer for you. You first of all have to answer that. When you have answers to that question, then whoever is coming to you must also answer that question. And that is where the 100% comes in. Because from that question, when your answers will determine whether that person is coming with 100% or coming with 50% and leaving the other 50% in the wife material of Walmart or in the husband material of Walmart. Because when the other person is not coming to you totally committed to make it work, then there's a problem. And a lot of times the marriage that are having issues is like Florence rightly said, you're coming with 50%. What did you do with the other 50%? Did you leave it in another country?
Mm-hmm.
So ask yourself, why do I want to get married? Is it because it's peer pressure? Or is it because I'm ticking the biological clock? Or is it because it's trending? Why am I doing it? Answer that deep question because it's a very deep one. Write it out if you have to, but give an answer to that question before you embark on that journey. Because marriage shouldn't be like, all right, I've done it 3 years, it's not getting me anywhere, and I'm going to take a walk now. And then you now give the marriage thing a whole bad name when you knew right from the beginning you were not totally ready for it.
Exactly.
So asking the right question at the right time, not when you are engaged to the person,
Mm-hmm.
before you
Say it
even
loud.
start that engagement,
Mm.
whilst you're dating that person, why am I marrying? Why do I want to do it? What do I stand to get out of it? What am I looking forward to?
Mm.
What journey am I preparing? What am I preparing myself to so that I will enjoy it eventually? Those are
Mm.
all salient questions we want to. And we're not asking the other person, we're actually asking us as an
Mm-hmm.
individual. Because when you get the answer from the other person, if you haven't answered it, then there's a problem. The other person is coming with expectations, but you don't even know what to expect of your own self.
Exactly.
I think that's very, very important.
Thank you guys so much. In fact, this conversation, be like say no go end today. The thing, it's much needed because I think we can't stop talking about it. Personally, I believe in marriage. I strongly believe in marriage because I've seen great marriages and I see what they look like. I have an image of what because I've been presented, I've been able to see, I've been blessed enough to see that. So I believe very strongly in marriage, but I believe that people are doing it wrongly. I believe people marry for the wrong reasons. I believe people bend over backwards just because they want to be misses so that they can oppress other women. I know all of the nuances that come with I want to be married. I know that people who lie just because they want to be married. I know that. But in time, the truth reveals itself. That's what I believe in. I'm one of those people. So because of that, I think that should be an ongoing conversation, even when we're not online, if we're with our friends or whatever. It's very important because I tell you the truth. The more you have these conversations, the more you begin to understand within yourself, oh my God, I don't think I really like this. I thought I did, but I really don't. So, my dear people, let's wrap this up by giving each other 2 minutes. Marriott, you are going to start with the 2 minutes because you have been too quiet. I'm getting worried. When you are quiet like that, I be like say you and Mirabel they make trouble for back. So Marriott, let's have your 2 minutes, and then I'll come to BB, and then I'll come to
I'm not making any trouble with Mirabelle.
I'm just teasing you.
She doesn't speak to me anymore over Neka's Ayamase food. That's how she said that she's going to remove her hand from my body or something like that. So I think our friendship might be over.
No, you guys are still in it together. That one I know.
Okay, on this, I
Mm,
think what I want to say is that what's unique, okay, maybe it's not a unique thing, but what I think is good about us Nigerians is that we want to be married and we want to create families. So
mhm,
all these elevated level of divorces can be reversed if we do all the things that Florence has talked about and everything that BBMG has talked about. Just have
right.
conversations. Be yourself. Be honest. Say what you really want. Communicate that to your partner. And when you do get married, or if you're already in your marriage, you need to be willing to adapt to not just your environment, but the
Mhm.
person that you have married. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Marriott, for your points that you brought across. For bringing, because you actually like brought out the fact that as Nigerian women, we too were a problem in the sense that we sometimes allow these things to happen, and we're not having the conversations when we should be having those conversations. And when we move here, we need to understand that we're in a different environment. You can't
Mhm.
be expecting the man to be all the provider of everything, all as sundry, as it was in Nigeria. So you want it here in America, where you know it is not realistic. People who have that kind of lifestyles are usually very wealthy people. Can
Mhm.
you do that? So thanks for stating that fact, because sometimes we forget the difference in society, and we want to keep those same old ideology of the man provide everything. It, like you said, I want a man to have that mentality of provider of everything, but I don't want to. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I want him to have that, but I understand that in the society I'm living in, I have to contribute as well. So
Yeah.
thank you for saying that, and I really appreciate you. Your points were great, as usual. I love you, my
Thank
girl,
you.
and we will talk again. Stay beautiful, oh, Marriott.
No, 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 no. I want to be like you when I grow up.
And don't be leave the train on time, oh, school. Don't be staying in the train station too long. I'm just
Oh my
teasing.
God. Or
I had to throw that
Mirabelle is in trouble next time I see her because she's the one that is causing all of this.
in.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed today's chat, and I love all the advice from BBMJ, and I like your contribution and your advice as well, Moye. Um,
Thank you very much.
thanks everybody.
All right, then. Take care, dear. Love you. All right, Florence, what happened? Florence hopped up. What happened, Florence? I really wanted you to give your final thoughts because I thoroughly enjoyed your take. BB, let's go there.
Make we go there, Abi.
Yes.
First and foremost, please, there is I 156 on Walmart. There's marriage material and husband material there. Let's go there and buy it. One 1,000 yards for everybody. But I was listening to something Steve Harvey did one time, and one of the guests got up and said that she had a question for Steve Harvey, and she said she had a 17-year-old daughter, and that the daughter is not ready to date yet, and that how can she make it known to people, or yeah, when they go out together, that the daughter is not ready for dating because the child is very pretty. And the question was directed to some two two children, actually really children. I think they were like 10, 12 or something. And one of the girls just said, well, just print a t-shirt and put on the body of the t-shirt, she's 17 and she's not ready to date. And
Wow.
everybody laughed at it. But it is the truth. So
Yes.
for the case of marriage, if you say you are ready, what are you bringing to the table?
Hmm.
Are you bringing your 100% self? Are you bringing your educated self? And this is not education with in terms of degree,
Mm-hmm.
just education about life.
Right.
What expectations are you bringing?
Hmm.
What are you attracting? Not any just anybody. Are you attracting the right person to yourself?
Right.
What are you preparing yourself for? And the almighty question, why do you want to get married?
Hmm.
What's the reason for you? Now, carry what they do you. Now,
Hmm.
biological clock, then they tick, they chook you
Hmm.
for body. How they
Hmm.
take chook you? What are you bringing in? How well do you know yourself?
Hmm.
How well do I know me? What is my love language? How far will I be willing to go? What can I not stand and what can I not take?
Hmm.
What can I ignore? How welcoming am I towards his family? Those are salient questions. If now one needs remain and this man take him, I go vex.
Hmm.
If he no one
Hmm.
share am with
So
me,
it
I go
depends on
follow
the
am
kind of meat.
vex.
So I like me. I like bush meat. If you take the last one, I feel vest. So I
Me
like
na
bush
pomo
meat.
na I like oh. You chop the last
Hey.
pomo, you go tear house go tear into two. Leave her for me. I love my Asho Ibora seriously. Me fishere. So what are you bringing? How well do you know you? How
Hmm.
well do you love yourself not to take crap? Because if you respect yourself and you love yourself, men, nobody will dare nonsense in front of you because you know you can't take it.
Hmm.
So those are the personal things you want to. Now, they say na corner question where you go sit down for one quarrel. Think and well before you go allow. And if you answer those questions truthfully and honestly with yourself, then women, I beg, mukona no vex. Please let us be honest with ourselves. Let us be honest with ourselves. If you cannot stand him smiling with another woman, then that means you cannot stand another woman inside the car with him. Don't think that it will change. If he's smiling with the woman today, there will be more women he can smile with. Can you handle it? If you cannot handle it now, you are not going to be a butterfly tomorrow to change and say, I can handle it tomorrow. It's not going to happen.
Hmm.
So let's be honest with ourselves. It starts from being honest with yourself deep inside. And from there, you can now fly. Oh
Hmm.
my darling, thank you so much for the show.
Oh my God, BBMG, you know the love I have for you is special. I really appreciate your insights. I mean, you have literally lit up this conversation. The gems so far, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for your time, for sacrificing and providing us with enough, as in solid information. I appreciate you. I love you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And please take care of that cough. Cough, depart from BB right now.
Amen.
All right, love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care. All right, Florence, it's you and me now. Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Give
I
us
know.
your. When I
Ah,
saw
well,
that you dropped off, I was like, what the
I
heck?
know. I know.
How can you do that?
I touched something, and I was like, no, 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 I need to come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this conversation is so important because I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot, right? When you hear women talk, you wonder sometimes, do they even have a clue what they were getting themselves into?
Hmm.
Like, Bibi has said, we need to be honest. There is no need living life and you're not honest to yourself. There was a purpose.
Hmm.
Yeah, what is the purpose? You need to sit in your corner. right? And ask yourself these very important questions. Until we do that, we can never say we're gonna live our best life or we're gonna make marriage, because we can't always be blaming the men. We need to take responsibility. They did not force you into that marriage. You went there with your full chest, with whatever
Mm.
agenda you had in mind. You know, you hear people say like, oh, the kerewa business. Oh, is it food? I cannot. If you know you cannot stand somebody wanting kerewa every day, 5 times in a day, why do you accept getting married to
Why
that
did
person?
you accept to marry
And
him?
then you
Thank
come and
you.
ask, is it food? Okay, if it's not
Mm.
food, go and meet somebody that does not like it as much as you don't like it.
You
Don't come and kill
exactly.
somebody's son. You know, we need to be honest. That's my point with women. You know, we don't like honesty most of the time. And then we want other people to fit in ourselves, like in our own narrative that we form
Mm-hmm.
about ourselves. And we don't want to, I think we don't want to be authentic to say, this is what I like. Because, oh, in this business of marriage, in the African context, you cannot say what you like, what you want. If I say all those things, then it means I'm overdoing, who will marry me.
Exactly.
But
You
that's
won't
where the
marry me because I'm saying the truth. You won't
yeah,
marry me.
exactly. That's where the problem is. Are you the one in that marriage or the people that you want to please? It's I just think we really need to sit ourselves down and talk to ourselves by ourselves. Like, even if our mothers are pressurizing us, we need to talk to them as well. Ask
Eh,
those mothers. I think we are scared of asking our mothers some very pertinent questions, or our parents in general, because we know most of the time they're not going to tell us the truth anyway. They will lie because they're still keeping that narrative of a perfect marriage that was never even there. Or maybe they themselves don't even know what they wanted in life. What do you
Yeah, they
want?
didn't know. The truth is
Yeah,
that most of our grandparents, some of our parents married very early, so they
yeah,
don't know. That's
yeah.
just the truth.
True,
So
true.
I that's why I don't blame it so much on our parents, on our
Yeah.
grand, because they really, really did not know. Imagine getting married at the age of 12, 13. For
Oh, I
this were
know.
the type
What
the
do you
ages
even
people they were getting married at.
what do you even know about life at that age anyway?
Do you understand? They're
Yeah,
still a child at
yeah,
12, 13, 14, 15. If you,
yeah,
in fact, 18 was too old at a certain time. If you
yeah.
were 18, you were considered an old maiden. So
Exactly.
you can imagine the mindset where they're coming from. So sometimes when I think about it, I don't want to be hard on them because
Yeah,
they didn't have the information that we have right now.
that is my
Now
point.
we now have the opportunity as women, as
Yeah,
our own, and because we are our ancestors, whether we
people.
like it or not, to
Yes.
make a difference,
Yeah.
leave the world better than it is, educate your girl child, talk
Yes.
to them,
Yeah.
let them know what's up,
Yeah.
hear them out, be very open with. This is where we are, so we need to be talking about these things. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can go ahead.
Yeah. And that is why I say do not we should stop this mentality of, oh, it worked for my parents. They've lived their own life. What do you want as
Mhm.
a person going forward? Because not everyone even want to be married. That's the problem. That is our problem. Not every woman, not
Yes.
every man wants to be married. But in our African culture, we forced everybody to be married. So some people are married today that, like, from the get-go, they don't even want, or they don't even want to be married. But because of the pressure or the stigmatization of a single woman or a single man,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you see them being forced into it. So if you're forced into something you don't want to do, you're never gonna even be bothered to make it work or to want to improve in that thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, I just feel like we really need to be honest with ourselves as human beings. What do I want in my life? In marriage, how do I want my marriage to be? You speak to that other person. From the beginning, don't do it after marriage because that's the wrong time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Ask those questions from the get-go. Whoever is going to be there for you, whoever is going to be yours will stay. The person that, instead, it helps you to eliminate those people that you're not meant to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then, because there's no way you can be married to somebody and both of you cannot sit and have an honest conversation. Come on.
I don't understand that because
That's
the
just
way I think
impossible.
about it, the person already has seen everything, your
Yeah.
nakedness, everything. So
What else?
why can't
What
you
else?
have the hard conversation with the person?
What are you hiding? What else is there apart from there? Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. So, and I think, like you said, we should be having some of this conversation because there are a lot of people that it's just like, they say the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over
Mm-hmm.
and expecting a different result. In our community,
Exactly.
we've done that. We have forced people into marriages that they were not meant to be in. So all that thing is like unlearning, speaking to people, for people to have that bravery to speak out, to
Mm-hmm.
stand up to their parents like, Mom, I'm not ready now. When I'm ready, I'll let you know to fix me up or something. And even if you're fixing me up, it's not by fire, by force. I would decide.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we need to be honest with our parents. We need to be like, I'm not ready, or okay, yeah, you've fixed me up with this person, but I don't really like him that way. You move on. That's it. Simple. Yeah. And yeah, I've said it.
Florence, I really, really I want you to come back again because
Oh,
you had such insight. No, seriously, because see, nobody did know and finish. Not one person has it
I
all.
like to learn because I want a beautiful marriage. I told you last time
Exactly.
I'm getting married this February. So I want mine to be beautiful. So I'm very vocal. Me I tell him now.
Congratulations.
No,
Yeah.
me I tell him, I
Yeah.
say me, I like happiness, I like enjoyment. I
Yes.
wanna be happy. There is no way I'm gonna
Exactly.
be mood. Nah. Of course it's not gonna be smooth sailing, but we have to work at it. We have to
You are a
talk.
human being. You are a
Yeah,
human
we have
being.
to
It's not going
communicate.
to be perfect. Yes.
Exactly. We have to talk. If we need therapy, we go for therapy, we go for counseling. So we are doing the
Exactly.
whole 9 yards. If you don't want to do it, my brother, I'm sorry. Oh. Me, I did not come to this world to come and suffer. So it's now.
Yes, my sister, soft life all the way, soft life gang. Hey, almost soft life for I beg.
Yeah,
Florence, thank you so much. Please come back again.
I
I
will.
thoroughly enjoyed your insights. Honestly, we all learned today. I mean, I personally learned. This is why these conversations are needed because nobody did know I'm finished.
Yeah,
The angle where BBMJ will come from, different from the angle where me will come from, different
true.
from where you they stand, where you they come from, different from waiting Marriott go talk.
Yeah.
Even Memira wey dey look for trouble for chat, e different from my own angle. So please, I really appreciate your insight. Please join us again for this conversations. I really, really enjoyed your insight and everything that you brought on. Thank you so much. And Natu, thank you, Natu. You run. I can't see you just show. Nah, 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 nah. I be like say you busy. Because Natu is a auntie extraordinaire. Not only they make bake 7 cake for 7 nieces and nephews. Me, I don't become niece. I no care. She dey call me Agbaya, I no care. I'm expecting my own cake too. But Florence, thank you
And
so
this,
much. I
yeah,
appreciate
and this
you.
name is not
I
to forget.
love you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And please come again. Please, please.
Definitely. Love you too. Bye
All
bye.
right then. Bye. Hey, and don't forget Ashwebi. Oh, since it's too, make we dey ready for Ashwebi. Biko. Send us, Nigerians and Ashwebi. Send us
And,
Ankara. We will
and,
sew. Even
and,
if we can't come, we'll tie it and do live and say in honor of Florence.
and, and,
All right, my sister. Congratulations. I'm happy for you.
thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye. Oh my God. So, guys, Mirabelle, what does Mirabelle have to say? Please stay warm. The way Marriott said, get well soon, sounded like it's, no, Mirabelle, you not talk since, you just show now they look for trouble. Eh? Also, give them reasons why they are not ready. Exactly. Yes. So, honestly, Bibi, yep. Yes, she drops so much gem. I'm telling you, gravitas. In fact, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to her and BBMG and Natu, Marriott. My goodness, angles that you don't even think about sometimes skips your mind. I really, really learned a lot too. Honestly, congratulations. So please, send us a Shoibio. Let's represent village brothers and sisters. We gotta represent too. It's exciting. I know. 20 years in the business and I'm still wow. Can you see? Look at that. Thank you so much. Yeah, congratulations. So congratulations are pouring in, Yeah. It doesn't end though, it's ongoing. Wow. Honestly. Auntie Natu, auntie of life, is on the phone with one of her nieces. I'm telling you, thinking about how she want to make the next cake. Now, wow, Esther, thank you so much for coming. In fact, I say Me and Natu, we be Natu na my auntie. I be Agbaya auntie. I accept I'm an Agbaya auntie. Eh? Yo, Natu. Oh my God, Miss Top Jones, thanks for coming by. Happy New Year to you. I don't think I've seen you this year. So happy New Year. I hope everything your year has started with bang. And I hope everything that you desire is happening for you one after the other after the other. And we all celebrate today and we're plenty as should be. Oh my God. They are here once left over. See, what did I say? Three came from Jersey. Now I'm at my sister with her own. You know, see, Natsu is a busy auntie. Ah, I'm telling you, they are full. Oh, thank you so much. Oh. For me, say what your expectations are to self, and then one should bear this in mind that that which works for others may not and may never work for you. That's true. That's very true. Special Junior, you're very correct about that. You know, very very correct. So, guys, we've come to the end of another beautiful session. Yes, Mirabel, I did say I wasn't going to stay long, but so na story na so e dey be. I go start, I go say I wan quick comot, but this gist go come enter another zone, so I don accept. I give una today, go see wahala, no problem. So I go do another live, I go schedule another live. I want us to talk about um the when especially in Nigeria, this has to do with Nigeria. I don't know if it's all in Africa. There's some cultures where if a woman loses a spouse, now the woman, they will show the woman shaggy, where the woman has to now go, maybe go and do rights and all of that in the husband's place. They make her to endure all kinds of horrific things. So I want to touch on that a little bit and talk about that in the hopes that they would really look into that tradition and start to make amends or change it, because a lot of women have been devastated by this act that they are still doing in 2023. So we go talk about them. Anyone who has had that kind of experience, please feel free to come and share. eh Thank you very much, Neka. I love you, my sister. Anyway, life is a teach. Yeah, the more we live, the more we learn. Absolutely. I don't try you. In fact, oh, Esther, so you just dey listen in, eh? Thank you so much. It's sweet, Abi. The thing is sweet. So much nuggets, so much gems dropped today. Me, I thoroughly enjoyed it myself. I learned a lot. Yes, so thank you, special Junior. God bless you too. Thank you, Esther. Bumi, long time. Bumi, oh, Bumi. Bumi, Happy New Year. I'm not sure I don't see you this year, Bumi. Happy New Year to you. I love you. I hope you're having a great start to the year as well. I hope everything they arrange as you want them. Yes, so all right, guys. So if you're catching this on replay, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I love to read comments. And if you have not yet subscribed and you want to be a part of the village, brothers and sisters, please subscribe. Let's move this ministry forward. I'm trying to get to 2K at least, Mona help me get to 2K so that we will move the ministry forward like that. So anyway, at this juncture, eh, Ewo, BBMJ, my head is swelling. Oh, ew, ew, ew. Happy New Year, Obumi. Yes, so please like on your way out. Yeah, thank you so much for spending your Sunday evening with us, Miss Top Notch. I really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. I know you could be anywhere else and you could be busy doing your own thing, but this was a great conversation. I'm glad that you were able to catch it. So I will send out an invite and you guys keep your notifications buttons on so that you can get that invite. So I know say, oh my, you change the time. I don't want to hear your mouth, Mirabel. I don't want to hear your mouth. Thank you so much, all my panelists today, and my host to the most, Natu. I love you. Please take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll see you on my next one.